here and
Hello. Hi, everybody. Let me there we go. That's better. Hi, everybody. Happy Thursday. Happy Friday Eve. I'm excited to be here with you all this evening. If you are not familiar with who I am, I doubt that, but my name's Life and Vibe, otherwise known as Ray, and I'm a registered nurse and trained to be a psychiatric mental health nurse practitioner here in the United States. And so I kind of enjoy getting onto YouTube and just trying to figure out all the health nonsense that I get to hear on a regular basis. And I was fascinated to know, and I know a lot of people have it. This is a controversial topic, and a lot of topics are controversial. I guess I feel that I have a ability to have some type of knowledge in this topic because of the fact that I do work in healthcare, and we seem to be trying to demonize healthcare providers at this moment in time, and just saying that doctors just want to keep people sick and this, that, and the other. I would be very cautious when I get my health information from people who are not licensed and have never actually followed a Hippocratic oath, have never followed codes of ethics, do not follow regulations, do not follow these things. So you always have to think to yourself at the end of the day, what is their bottom line? What are they getting out of it? So I think it's very easy to, be harsh on, medical professionals, many of which of us do not have any control over the cost of medications, the cost of healthcare. We actually just care about taking care of people. And it's really tiring to continuously hear about how we want to keep people sick. So if you do support that type of mission, then I'm glad that you're joining me here. Now, Gen X has been in and out, and she was over at Blind View's live stream, and she's only interested in Tim. Well, goodness me, aren't we all? And we have 49,000 souls here tonight, so thank you guys. And it looks like, gosh, that is a Oh, I don't even have that on. Okay. StreamYard's very strange. Eloise says it's going to be late in the UK. But hopefully, Eloise, if you are catching this on the replay, I would love to get your input. Maybe we should go dual live and we could talk about Tim's medications. He's got a very interesting take on his meds. So there you go. And Catherine, who's one of our faithful moderators. Hey, Catherine, come on in. She says she knows she's an outlier all the way at the bottom of the world. LOL, but it's a really good time slot for me and the Antipods. Well, I'm very happy. Not that my biggest audience comes from down under, but I do have one very good, an awesome community member, Catherine. And so I appreciate it. And for those of you who are also here tonight, hey, Rita, come on in. And maybe 7 Hearts, hey, come on in. I am going to be actually doing some membership giveaways, because I like to thank my community for their time and just being here to support me and to watch the live streams and just do all these things. I had to come a little bit later, obviously, because I didn't want to clash with other people's lives. And I know it's getting late here, but we're here. We're here tonight. So I'm very happy. Hey, Debbie, come on in. Come on in. What are your means here? Come on in. Come on in. We got Sammy and Brooklyn's here. Rosebud's here. Hi, guys. And Patty K's here. Come on in. Come on in. It's nice to see everybody. I did just as, hey, Michelle, come on in. All right. I'm going to stop all that because it annoys people when they're watching the replays. But hey, it's part of what we do here at the live streams. And we obviously give the opportunity to, I need to set something up actually. Hold on. Let me make sure that when my people get the live streams that they're going to be able to see the chat on the replay. So anyway, I did put up a poll. And so if you haven't had an opportunity to look at the poll, it's got some it's basically asking if Tim's going to stick to his diet plans and reach his weight goals. And it's nobody has said yes yet. 89% have chosen no. And 11% have chosen the "is that a question" option. Yeah, it is a question, believe it or not. Because Tim, as we know, hey, Dinger, come on in. Come on in, Dinger. Come on in. Come in. It's good to see you. Come on in. If you haven't checked Dinger's channel yet, please do so. He does some really good, funny stuff over there. So check it out. Nomadic e-biking adventures. Well, you should be very excited that Tim has got a new scooter or something. He got something new. Hey, come on in. He never sticks to his diet plans. No, he never does. The diet, I'm just like, oh. And, obviously I'm kind of poking around and fun about, obviously. I think I changed it from cholesterol to healthy aging because the man's eating 4 eggs. Okay. So, I mean, I've an egg in moderation, but if you're having 4 every day and a hunk of cheese, I mean, your arteries are not going to like you. I'm just saying. There's not one cardiologist who I have worked with who would not be concerned with what he has said is what he's eating. And I did this interesting, hey, Gail, come on in. Interesting thing with the AI that kind of summarized what Tim's plans were with his diet. And we'll take a look at it. But let's just get to Tim. And like I said, at some point, I'm going to give away some memberships. You know how it goes. And we're going to actually look at something because we're going to take a look at a couple of videos. And he's off the carnivore diet. Oh, he's on a whole new diet, Catherine. I'll let you wait till you hear what he calls it. I don't even know what it's called. I mean, I don't know what happened to just food. Eat real food. That's what I always told my patients at the, I guess having been somebody who worked in cardiac nursing and pretty much ran her nursing program at my particular location and did all the, pretty much did all the care plans, did everything. The doctor just signed off on this stuff, but I did really the work behind everything at a cardiac rehabilitation clinic for almost 2 years. Along with all the years I spent working in cardiac procedures which is about 2 years. So basically my nursing background. So if you don't think that I don't know a thing or two about cholesterol, heart health, and heart rehabilitation, then obviously people smoking stuff on this platform, because it is insanity that I feel that sometimes, and this is coming from somebody who does psychiatric mental health, the amount of misinformation that is peddled for profit from unscrupulous individuals. Tim is somebody, yeah, it's great to have somebody else who's obviously struggling with their diet, and Tim is struggling horrendously. This man has no education around what to eat. He just takes a bunch of fad crap, pulled my French, sorry YouTube, demonetize me, I guess. And then he tries to figure out what to do for his health, and he doesn't maintain anything. And I'm sure he's not really looking at the calories, the sugar. He's no, and it's just terrible. How much gel does he use every day, John? A lot. But yeah, it's not what you eat, it's how much. Yes, it is some stuff you want to not eat. You don't want to eat a lot of ultra processed food. You just don't. It's just not a good option. Even these like energy balls and all of this stuff. Now, recently, and this is going to be interesting, let's just get to the video because I could talk for ever on this stuff. But just back to my experience, just so people understand. I worked in cardiac procedures for the start of my career for almost 2 years. And that was all the people getting cardiac catheterizations, cardioversions, getting SVTs, getting their electrophysiologists coming in and doing all the like, oh gosh, I can't even, now I can't even remember half the name. It's when they fix like the AFib. There's a special name for it. It's not the SVT. There's a number name to it. Anyway, so doing that, like recovering for those, obviously prepping for cabbages, which is the coronary artery bypass surgeries, transaortic valve replacements, doing all that. Then I worked actually on a step-down floor, like caring. The other procedure will come to my mind. Caring for my patients, in a step-down progressive unit. So like really sick people coming out of cardiac surgery. Oh, they stepped down, so they weren't quite ICU. But the ones that I took care of when they were coming out the heart procedures, some of those patients were like touch and go. I mean, there were people who passed, not on my watch, but on some of the others. And then obviously I spent a long time working with cancer patients where we obviously have to monitor the heart. And then I worked like I said, I did a rehab for almost 2 years. So I have a lot of time teaching people about health and diet and weight loss. And I'm surprised he's never mentioned the blood sugar, which makes me almost feel that he hasn't been to see a primary care, because Tim's never mentioned like a hemoglobin A1C, a blood sugar. He's promising you, hey guys, come on in. All right, let me get going. Let's get to Tim. I'm going to speed him up and I'll make me smaller. But I could go on about this one because it's getting tiresome because there's so much misinformation, guys. Listen to your doctors. Please don't listen to a bunch of wackadoodles on the internet. Even me. I would say not even listen to me then. I mean, I'm a better source than most. You can find my licensure. But yeah, I do feel passionate about this. And sorry if I'm not paying much attention to the chat. I just decided that when I just keep hearing Tim going, I'm just like, I can't take it. All right, let me see if I can make me a little smaller. There we go. I'm going to let Tim be the star that he so desires to be. As we hear Tim flipping, flopping, and then at some point we get we're going to try to get to his next video. We get this just like, and now once he starts playing, I can look at the chat a little bit better. We can actually, oh yeah, make sure you hit the likes on the way in, guys, so people know I'm here. I usually put like a post on my community board that I'm going to be going live, and I didn't get a chance to do that tonight because Junebug has been freed from the sutures and is now back to regular activity. And so she's been wanting to go out and take nice walks in the evening. So we've been doing that. And we had a friend of ours that I needed to catch up. Anyway, you don't need to hear all that stuff. Nobody cares, Tim. That's why I'm just not going to go on about, because nobody cares. They care about what nonsense you're saying. Night Ray. Well, Sam, I know it's late, and I'm so glad you just popped in. I hope you're going to catch us on the replay. I know, because Eloise told me it was late too. Yeah, 1:30 is late. I forget I tried to get the best times. I wanted to go earlier, but I have to come in from Chesapeake. Junebug has been liberated. Yes, Junebug has been liberated. And she got to be a ride or die. She's sleeping. She's snoozing on the couch. So if you hear any background snoring, that's Junebug. All right, Tim. I've drawn a line in the sand, and it's on, baby. Now, when I saw this title originally, I thought, oh gosh, is Tim going to be coming for the reaction channels? Because obviously a lot of people are like, your attorney did nothing. There's been a lot more channels, and I think you can agree, who have felt more comfortable using clips from Tim's channel, and Tim hasn't struck him. Like, it's not struck Dingo, and he struck poor Buckeye at one point, and he had barely used his content. And then he hasn't struck me again. And he's not talked about copycat channels. So if you don't think my cease and desist has had any, he kind of implies it, but I think he chills out because I think he realizes. And I still have something that I'm going to try to go members only because I'm cutting down to just 4 days a week of work because I can't drive as much as I do. And my job is pretty tiring because I take care of a 2-year-old all day, and she is very active but has a lot of, obviously there's a reason why I'm there, so I'm very busy all day, and so I'm pretty, I do get tired. But anyway, let's get to Tim. Good Lord, I told you guys I could just go off. All right, Tim, take it away.
Sarasota, Bradenton. Took a few days and did something different, and now I'm taking a few more days and doing something back right here at home where I belong. But man, I had to unpack a lot of stuff.
Just because Tim is, I thought Tim was going to get upset with the reaction channels and start striking people. That's what I thought was the line in the sand. And then it went a totally different direction. That's what I wanted to say. He's sped to 1.5 if you think he seems particularly hyperactive.
Been cleaning up a little bit. I turned the air conditioning off, and this thing was a hot box. And I've been turning the air off to save money on the electric bill because in the wintertime, it is like hardly even worth mentioning. But when this thing has to run 24/7, it's a gas hog. It really does use up some electric. If you look at I keep my filters clean. Don't you worry. I have a regular reminder on my.
Well, Tim, that's just part of adulting. But I understand your struggle is real at all times, Tim. I try to stay professional. Oh, I sometimes wish I really could say the things that I sometimes really do think of Tim. But in the since I am a professional, I'm not going to say those things. But sometimes I just like
my phone. Of course, I can. I just look at it because the second that thing stopped working, a new one has to be put on, and I have to go to a room or somebody's house until it's fixed, because this is the time of year
right here at home.
It's uninhabitable to be in a camper, really an apartment without air conditioning.
Oh yeah, and he doesn't want to pay the electric bills. Tim, you are the one who chose a hot box to live in. These are all personal decisions, okay? One thing that we learn as we age, and we are often reminded of, Tim, is a lot of times we do have some autonomy in a decision that we make. Sometimes there are circumstances that no. But I can promise you, Tim, that you probably could have been afforded quite a lot of opportunity. And you are somebody who definitely shirked work for the majority of your life. So you might be having to suffer a little bit in your retirement. Maybe you should have been getting the 401 and the, job and, the prison job. Maybe you wouldn't be living in the hot box.
It's hot. Although today was pretty nice. I went to the beach, played some frisbee or aerobie. I did a little bit of snorkeling, which was not anywhere close to being real snorkeling. The water had waves, and it's blowing the snorkel all around, the mask off my face. There was current. There was a yellow flag flying. It was not, clear and snorkeling weather, and it wasn't big enough waves for surfing or even body surfing, really. But it was very refreshing, and that's another thing. That water is going to get hot. It's already 80 degrees. It'll get up to about 90.
Are these just excuses to not make content for the future, Tim? I mean, you knew this was coming. Why didn't you go take yourself up to Maine? Probably too expensive. That's probably why Tim doesn't go too much higher on the eastern seaboard. He knows anything past North Carolina, though. He has threatened to come to Virginia Beach. I'm going to let you know, Tim. Virginia Beach is not an inexpensive city. Okay? It's got a slightly higher cost of living than the national average. So you're going to be horrified to see the cost of stuff around here. I don't even think McDonald's does a senior coffee around here, especially in the summertime in the resort district. They're going to start whacking the prices up. That's where you have to know where to not be where the tourist area is.
And that's like bathwater. It really, because the water's so shallow here at the Gulf of America that it just heats up. I mean, you got to go way out to get over your head deep off the beach here. So the water will definitely be very, very warm.
Oh, that's nice.
And then, of course, we go into the old hurricane season.
Hey.
Welcome to Florida, baby. This is what it's all about. Nothing changes. Every year it's the same thing. But we really did have a very nice winter here.
I'm always shocked when people always say, "Oh, Tim, you had such a positive chat." I'm like, what do you mean? The man's complained for like 26 minutes straight. I'm thinking you must have some English heritage, Tim. We Brits are infamous for the number of complaints that we can pop out. It's like a national sport in the UK.
And it was
Catherine could probably agree with that.
And, about 85 or so on the coast.
Known complainers.
Like 88 or 87 inland, which is a big difference between living on the ocean or the Gulf, I should say, and inland. Rainy season's going to start. We're about 3 or 4 o'clock every day. Big thunderstorms. It's nice and humid. So yeah. Great. But let's begin today. This morning I got up early and I went to McDonald's and had a coffee.
He will say that till the day he dies. And Tim, nobody really thinks you like the flavor of coffee for the amount of cream. Mind you, I can also be accused of the same for the amount of almond milk or oat milk that I add to my coffee. But I always say I'm European. I kind of like a milky coffee.
Coffee with scrambled eggs and sausage. Milk.
I just
now I'm going to discuss. Oh, here he goes again. First of all, I got some coffee cups here. I'll talk about. We're going to do something in the morning about diet. All right. I talk.
Why is this man collecting coffee? Oh, cheekbones! I am so glad you're here. Oh, I'm definitely going to, you know what? I was just thinking this evening, and thank you so much for that super chat. She says, just stopping in to say hi. Miss your input on foodie. Sending love. Cheekbones, I'm curious. What do you think about 4 eggs and a hunk of cheese for breakfast on somebody who's supposed to be lowering their cholesterol? Pop it in the chat before you have to disappear. My friend Cheekbones, just to let the audience know if you're not familiar, she has actually, and I'd love to be able to get her to do a live stream with me on Tim's diet because she is a registered dietitian. And so when we actually do talk about diet and taking care of one's health, she is there to talk to science with me and talk about the fact that she was a diabetes educator. And so if you want to go back and check some of the live streams that Cheekbones and I have had together, where we talk a lot about diet and explain that stuff. And it's interesting because YouTube does say that content where people are starting to be the experts, and have experience and authoritativeness and trustworthiness are going to start to be more popular on this platform, because I think we're going to start to realize that a lot of these wellness people are just real scammers. You got to be real cautious. I've got a couple of supplement things coming in, and I kind of got them just to be curious as to kind of what's in them. And I'm going to give an honest review on these products. One is one thing that my doctor has recommended for me to take. And the other one has been something, and we're going to talk about this in conjunction with Tim tonight, around aging and healthy aging and the science around aging. And so, yeah, that's part of it. Cheekbones. Lord have mercy. Is that regarding this ketovore diet that Sarasota Tim's on? Girl, it's heavy cream in the coffee. It's 4 eggs. It's a hunk of cheese. It's clogged arteries galore. You cannot eat that and anticipate that your cholesterol is. You couldn't even be on eating that and be on a statin and hope that things go well. It's wild. It's wild. So yeah, I'm so glad you popped in, Cheekbones. I'm gonna go at least once a month live with a foodie. At least once a month. I'm going to do a monthly health live. I've decided to catch up on foodie's health, because I am getting, like I said, I'm going down to 4 days a week work, which is still 32 hours and a lot of driving, plus my YouTube. So I'm sort of thinking to myself that I can do at least Chantel. Let's check in with her health at least once a month, because that's about all I can usually deal with Chantel. And then I'm hoping to find some other people. But yeah, I think the egg yolk has high cholesterol. Yes. I mean, it depends on the size of the eggs too. I mean, they have the nutritional information about the eggs inside the carton. I personally don't keep eggs in the home, so I have no idea. I don't keep them in the home. It's crazy. Yeah, you're off babysitting next week, so I'll have loads of times in summer. Well, let me know what times. Like I said, I'm going to be going down, so I'd love for you to take a look at Tim's diet, because I think people would be interested to have a registered dietitian examine Tim's heart-healthy diet.
Talk, and then eventually,
oh yeah, he's going to talk diet.
I stop talking, and there's action. I have drawn a line in the sand. Today,
yep.
And I don't mind telling you, I was taking a couple selfies to send to somebody, sitting on the beach. Hey, look at me, I'm on the beach. There's the beach behind me. I'm in this beach chair. I had my shirt off, trying to get a little color. And, oh, my goodness. Folks,
I do.
I've always been conscious about my appearance. I'm 66, going to be 70. Going to be 70 in 4 years. Less than.
Tim, who has reminded everybody that they have to retire at 62 and get their free check. It's only free to you, Tim. The rest of us have been contributing. Your talk of your free money had reminded me to just double check what the Social Security has down for my, contributions over the years. Yes, you suddenly are starting to feel your mortality. I feel, Tim, that you don't want to think that you're going to have your end of time be in the next few years. If you're going to be 67 this year, Tim, I do not think that you want to envision yourself having your life not being, continuing at 73. I think that's pretty fair to say. And I think for most of us, I think that if you're still, relatively active, which you are, Tim, at 67, and if you took slightly better care of what you ate and did lose some weight, you probably could have a chance, and actually really saw doctors and followed their advice and not what people wrote in your comment section. Anyway, let's keep hearing Tim's goals.
In 4 years. I've drawn a line in the sand. This eating and drinking certain things and whatever that's caused this futile walking, futile going to the gym, spinning my wheels because of diet is over. So here's what I'm doing. I'm doing ketovore. That's right. I know that eating a steak or turkey or ham, lunch meat, like the Atkins diet, and eggs and cheese. By the way, I went to BJ's today to spend my money. on some filet mignons. They didn't have any, but I did spend some money. I got that Machango cheese. I opened it and the package is not on there, and took a little slice off right there. Look at that big chunk you get. I think it's
Come on, cheekbones and the rest. What do you think to the size of cheese? Let me hide your comment, Chuck. Sarasota Manchego is great, though. That was a good chuckle. Thank you for that. YouTube gold. I don't want to be around for the cheese. I hope he's not lactose intolerant. Your triglycerides are 15. They're supposed to be lower than 500. Well, that is definitely a lot lower than 500. That cheese actually looks very enticing. Well, I know you're not. Nobody's going to lie about a piece of Manchego, but look at the size. He's like went to the Costco or something. No, yeah. He will be looking for constipation. Absolutely. Oh, we're going to get stopped up with that stuff, especially the keto cheese versus versus. Yeah, was it? Or was I going to get this this prime rib or whatever he said, or a big old hunk of cheese? Oh, we slice and be nice. Well, they actually have a Spanish tapas tasting platter with Manchego, I believe, in it at Trader Joe's, which you do not have in New Zealand. It is very good. It's salty, though. It's a salty cheese. All right, keep showing us up. Oh, my God.
I think it's $12, $15. Not cheap. That's a big chunk of it.
Yeah, I bet.
So I Googled, is cheese part of a keto diet? And Siri said, yes, it is a keto friendly. It's full of fat. And, you can't sit there and just eat on it all day. But I love that cheese. And I haven't eaten cheese in a while.
Full of fat. That's all it is, Tim, is fat made into cheese. It's just a block of fat. Very tasty fat, but it's a block of fat. And once you start to understand how much fat is in cheese, which I'm sure we've all seen, because we've all had a pizza cooked before and seen all the oil on top. And so I think we all have a pretty decent idea. And so cheeses, and obviously there's a lot of salt often added to cheese as well. So it's a real, as tasty and delicious as cheese is, it's often one of the reasons why people who can be vegetarian can still maybe not have great heart health or potentially not lose a lot of weight. Cheese can be pretty bad. I think Cheekbones would agree with me on that. It's usually better to have a lower fat cheese, like a feta. If you're going to do cheese, nobody likes cottage cheese, but that's a better choice. Where's your cottage cheese, Tim? If you were on a serious weight loss journey, Tim, you would have some goddamn cottage cheese.
Wow, I kind of cut that out of my diet, but I didn't diet right. So today I saw some photos of myself, and maybe I haven't looked in the mirror in a while, but it's over. It's over. So I decided to not starve myself, but between everything that I know about keto and Atkins that I've done before, everything that you've shared regarding carnivore, and everything that I've seen.
I think in a minute, Cheekbones, he explains it, but he, I guess one of his friends called him and said that he looked like he was a little bit heavy in one of his videos. And I think, and we could probably work out Tim's BMI. Oh, let's do that real quick. So Tim says he's 5'10". Okay. Let me share this tab instead real quick. I hope I don't lose Tim's thing. Hold on. I'm going over here. Let's go back. Hold on. All right. So Tim says he is 5'10", which is not much taller than myself, Tim. I'm 5'9", actually. So there you go, Tim. You're not much taller than me. And he is 210 pounds, and his BMI. Oh, that's a pretty decent BMI, 30.1. Yeah, lower fat foods. All about heart health. Absolutely. Me too. We are both about the heart health. Yes. So that's 30.1. Trying not to diagnose a treat, as we know. And Catherine is hilarious, Brianna. Catherine is very funny. So 30.1 BMI. What does that state his? What does that put him in the group for men? Here we go. I mean, this is rough, you know. Okay, so Tim, they put you as a beast, mate. Let me share. They say you're a beast. Oh, does it say it over here about this over here? Oh, here we go. It's right here. BMI of 30 or greater, and Tim is at 30.1. All right, I'm not treating or diagnosing, Tim, but I think your PCP has had this conversation. It says here that you are a beast, Tim. I hate to say it. I don't want to make you feel any more conscientious. This is medical terminology. This is not an ad hominem attack of Tim. This is not to say anything bad, but this is how we would look at it. I'm obviously working in the healthcare field, and I know it's not inclusive, but obviously it's a rough guide. It's a rough guide. We're not going to beat people up or, be terrible, but it's something that is used to give a rough estimation. Obviously, if somebody's an athlete or they're young males and they're always at the gym and they're very muscular, obviously we understand muscle weighs more than fat. But as we age, and that's one of the things that we all have to be very conscientious of as we get older, is maintaining our muscle mass. Oh, sorry, I have a lisp. And making sure that we are obviously not maintaining too much weight, because that's going to be very hard on our knees, our hips, just difficult on the joints and altogether. So it really isn't to be cruel, but like I said, as we get older, we tend to lose muscle. So if Tim is older and at 210, that's potentially a lot more of that 210 is going to be not muscle, if that makes sense. Trying to be nice, Tim. Trying to be nice. So this is what they suggest. This is the National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute, part of the National Institutes of Health, state that Tim should maintain a healthy weight, which is what he's wanting to do. Maintaining a healthy weight is important for your heart health, Tim. Every 10 pounds of weight you lose is 10 milligrams of mercury taken off of your systolic number, which is your top number. So if you found that you have blood pressure and you have 10 pounds to lose, your blood pressure's been a little bit high, that loss of that 10 pounds will lower your systolic blood pressure by 10 milligrams of mercury. Does Tim know these facts? Absolutely not. Tim could not explain any of this. Any of it. Just talks nonsense. Okay. Learn more about overweight and obesity. Increase physical activity. So, Tim, they don't want you telling your subscribers that you went to Planet Fitness or LA Fitness. They actually think you should go, because from the looks of things, you've been enjoying way too many nights with Miss Tammy and Carrabba's, because you have potentially gained a lot of abdominal, and I see it primarily in your abdominal area, Tim. I'm just saying. Okay, the next thing they say is moving more can lower your risk factors for heart disease. Well, Tim can't sit still, so he's gonna do that. Oh, look, Tim, heart healthy diet. Uh-oh. Heart healthy. Didn't say anything about a ketovore. It's not a ketovore, Tim. It's a heart healthy diet. Okay? And we can see what that is. And eating a healthy diet is key to heart disease prevention. Know and control your heart health numbers. Tracking your heart health stats can help you meet your heart health goals. Biggest killer of anybody in the world, including the number one for the United States, heart disease. Heart disease. About 70% of people die of heart disease. It's a lot. For a lot of people. I don't think 4 eggs and a hunk of cheese is going to be what's on the menu. What do they say about the heart healthy diet? We'll just flick over here real quick and then we'll go over. Oh, look at this. Doesn't look like any of the stuff Tim just described. And I know it's controversial because there's so many pundits who have podcasts and just for me personally, I wish the podcast era would die because there are so many uneducated, people who are trying to talk about issues around psychiatric health who have degrees in marketing. Why are people who have marketing degrees dictating people's mental health? And people are lapping it up on the internet. Absolutely lapping it up. You just have to have, I guess, enough studio equipment and a deep enough voice, and people will take whatever you say seriously. And with no, real dissent, if the message sounds good, and I guess it fits somebody's own personal narrative, then they'll buy it. If Tim can find a diet that tells him to eat goddamn cheesecake all day or a donut or pasta or whatever, that man will hook up onto it because he has no understanding. He's sorry. So he hates to sweat. Oh, he doesn't work out. Tim doesn't even work a day in his life, far less work out. Tim is a shirker of everything. Exercise, commitment. The only thing he's been committed to is his YouTube content because it makes him money. That's it. And I think he's talking about the diet again because he lost a bunch of his followers because he didn't stick with his carnivore. I think Jim Bauer disappeared on him, gave up on him, but Tim is not somebody who really is a individual who has conviction to anything. He's not has any conviction to being a minimalist. He doesn't really have conviction to being an all-via. He just lives in a camper because he doesn't have a home. He's not, anyway, let's get to this so we can get back to Tim. So basically what they're telling you, Tim, to do, and we'll see if this matches your diet, okay? And this is based on the fact that you are 5'10" and weigh 210 pounds and have a BMI as a man that says 30.1 puts you at obese. Just saying. It says it recommends eating vegetables, fruits, and whole grains. I don't think you even know what a whole grain is. Eating fish, poultry, beans, nuts, vegetables, and fat-free or low-fat dairy products. Tim is nowhere near that. Limiting foods that are high in saturated fat and sodium. I think that hunk of manchego, Tim, is that thing that's supposed to be limited. Because that thing is just saturated fat and some salt. That's all that is. They taste differently because they're different cows from different grass pastures. Limiting sugar and other sweeteners. Well, anyway, they want to put you on the DASH eating plan. Sticking to your healthy eating goals is easier when you enlist the help of a friend. Look at these happy hearts over here, Tim. Sticking to your healthy eating goals is easier when you enlist the help of a friend or family member to keep you motivated. Well, I don't know if Tim's comment section counts for that motivation or not. I'm not sure. Probably not. I can link all these resources afterwards too. So this is what they're saying, Tim. I don't know if Tammy is the person either because she likes to. Well, anyway, Tammy is that these two love to half a meal plate. Oh, your waitresses hate you. Anyway, sticking to your. I know for people that go out as couples, it makes sense and you guys love it. Restaurants and wait staff, they don't. Because you're going to tip on like literally what's one meal for one person, but they're having to take care of two people. You guys don't add an extra to the waitress. No, that's where you guys can get even cheaper, especially you, Tim. You're a cheap son of a bitch. I would hate to be a waitress trying to get a tip from you. Can you imagine what Tim tips? Jeez. Anyway, cheaper. All right. Sticking to your healthy eating goals is easier when you enlist the help of a friend or family. No, we already Miss Tammy, no motivation. Going out to eat or ordering takeout. Here are some tips, Tim. And that does not mean complaining about a steak at an expensive restaurant so you can get a do-over. Nix the all-you-can-eat meals where people tend to overeat. Well, Tim is a fan of a buffet because if you remember the Laughlin content last year, that's all that Tim did was go to a buffet. He just went to the buffet. That's it. That's it. That's all he did. Well, this one he does. Okay, so, okay. All right, I retract. I was wrong. I said the waitress didn't like it. I didn't say the National Institutes of Health didn't recommend it. Just said your waitress doesn't like it. But split a meal. So, yes, split the meal. Get 2 entrees. Well, that's not really splitting, is it? All right. If you get fast food, pick a salad over fries. And don't order bigger versions of a sandwich. And as we know, Tim is a secret Burger King fan because Teddy gave away his secret. Bring a salad and veggie side dish to your next potluck. Tim not bringing anything to anybody's house. He is showing up to Miss Raffaella's expecting a full Italian meal and that she's going to wash his laundry for him. What are you talking about? Tim doesn't tip for heck. He don't tip. Tim don't tip. All right, Tim, back to you. So, Tim, let's hear if anything going forward matches what, people and physicians and some heart health folks would think. Since, Tim's not going to like the fact I brought up his BMI. And labeled him. I haven't labeled you anything. I do not treat or diagnose. Take it away,
on
Tim.
YouTube, when I looked at carnivore videos and other diet type videos, and that skinny guy I keep talking about, that talked about how great you're going to feel if you drink water for 3 days.
Yes.
He actually had a book come out today. He's actually pretty smart.
I would agree.
But I'm taking a little bit of everything, and I'm going to eat little.
I think organic is just I just get the regular stuff because I do think there's a lot of misconceptions around that. And I've heard so many dodgy stories. I'm not paying a little bit extra for something like that. I can't trust it either. I just get the regular stuff. And I get the stuff I like nowadays. I like berries. So I eat lots of blueberries, raspberries, and blackberries. Those are my favorites.
Finish eating early. Eat meat, cheese, and eggs, and butter. And I will include some salads without the terrible salad dressing, and some vegetables. Like tonight I had some green beans and a filet.
Meat, cheese, and eggs. That doesn't sound like anything that was on that Heart Healthy, Tim. We just went over it. Said low fat on the dairy. And what else did it say for the dairies? One other thing. It was low fat and fat free. I mean, at that point, you can't really, there's nothing left. If you're going to eat a little cheese, eat a little feta. Sprinkle a little feta on it. That's it. A little hard cheese. Those types. A little feta. It's not too much salty. Get the low salt if you're trying to monitor for salt, Tim. But that cheese is going to, that is salty. That is some salty stuff. You have a piece of cheese that size in your house, you're going to have no willpower. Please don't ever listen to this man for any dietary advice.
A filet like that big, that big around. It was small. There was a deal on them at Publix. And I pushed it around in the pan with some garlic and butter. It was very flavorful. And I also, which is probably won't eat any more of them but someone, they got some nutrition in them, was a half of a baked potato with a lot of butter on it. So now, even though.
And supposedly if he has all these heart issues and stuff and that outrageous calcium coronary artery score, then they probably even cover for a nutritionist in his disadvantage plan. Friend of mine, they recently were diagnosed, do not drink, with non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And a nutritionist was covered in their insurance. Now, finding them I have to say, cannot be easy. And Cheekbones knows a lot about this because she's a registered dietitian. But obviously, Tim is, Tim's gonna, trying to make content out of it, and he's not gonna get anywhere. This is never gonna work. This plan is gonna fail. And even if he did lose the weight, it'd probably be because he's nutrient deficient. So it's almost like a starvation diet. It's not going to do put your body into ketosis. Obviously, that's what they're trying to do. I wouldn't recommend that for somebody who's aging. I think you just need to have better variety of diet and portion control. You never eat fruit. I never see him drink water. I don't think a vegetable passes this man's lips. I mean, if you have a shiny diet like that, you're not going to feel good. I don't care what people say. I know these people say this, that, and the other. They all have admitted too, though, that their doctors are concerned with their cholesterol scores. And yes, there's a certain amount needed for brain health, but not that much.
That's nowhere close to strict carnivore.
This is my opinion.
Strict
not
keto,
my opinions. These are like
the green
medical
beans or
facts.
potato. I don't know if the green beans are included or not.
Okay,
but
that's just
it was all I had. And I had some fruit. I had a couple pieces of red bell pepper, and I had a couple of grapes. I got some grapes in here. I know about the fruit deal and the sugar in them and bananas and all this stuff. Going to kill you, make you fat. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You're going to blame the fruit? Really, Tim? Really? Fructose is a very different type of sugar, okay, than a chocolate bar. Very different. Yes, if you are diabetic, then there are certain fruits that you should be very cautious of having a certain portion of it. And that's it, like half a banana, because they are high in sugar content, especially for diabetics. Most of us, though, the fiber from the fruit is actually beneficial. Now, some people, seeded fruits, if you had diverticulitis or something of that nature, obviously it's not a good choice. Certain things like that, yes. But if you've had a pretty good diet most of your life, you probably aren't going to have some of those issues like diverticulitis or heartburn or other different things, because you've provided a variety of flora into your intestinal health in order to help really support that gut.
And look at Hawaiians. That's all they eat is pineapples, bananas, and fruit. But that anything that you eat over amount of, right? Who am I talking?
Yeah, but they also have a known propensity for pork and spam and poke, like the with the tuna and stuff. I don't know if necessary. Tim, I think you trying to demonize fruit is just part of how you are a dangerous individual on the internet. Thankfully, your views are in the toilet. I mean, I don't get many more views than Tim did, but obviously. But I have a fraction of his subscribers. And I'm not coming out and saying all this fantastical crud about food. I just talk about basic stuff all the time. Always have. And people have asked me my whole life, how have I maintained my body weight? Because I promise you, I won't even show my BMI because I'd be embarrassing Tim.
Talking to, right? Preaching to the choir. But it's on. And I'm hungry right now. And I just had dinner about an hour ago. But I won't die. And I'll drink a lot of water. I'll just fill myself up on water. I also got at BJ's $4 a dozen.
Sugar dangerous.
2 dozen.
Liver. I mean, that's what alcohol is converted to, but alcohol has other things in it that would be harming to the liver. Anything in excess is not going to be good for your body. And in reality, the excess sugar is going to be more dangerous to your pancreas because you obviously have more high propensity for obviously becoming a type 2 diabetic. Now, the liver does play a really large part in that because obviously the liver is the place which stores glucagon, which is, glucose. So when you don't have enough energy, say when you're sleeping at night or other things, there's a process called gluconeogenesis, which means a release of glucose that is stored within the liver. So sugar is stored within the liver. So if you do have obviously an excess amount of sugar in your bloodstream because you are taking in more sugar then your body is needing to go into your cells in order to create energy. But you have to do that obviously also along with your pancreas releasing insulin. This is where diabetics, especially type 2s, get into trouble, and type 1s just don't even produce insulin. So the insulin needs to be used as like a key to open up your body cells in order to get the sugar in order for it to do its job. Any excess sugar is going to be stored in your liver, and it needs to be stored there. And what the liver doesn't need means that it's going to then go into other parts of your body or just hang out into your bloodstream. And that's where people have problems. And that's where you see diabetes, because actually it's going to be more dangerous for your bloodstream than your liver. Does that make sense? I could talk about this for hours. But that's what it is. So, I mean, any excessive amount, but the liver isn't really where it's going to do more damage. It's going to do more damage, obviously, to your pancreas and your bloodstream. Diabetes is a disease of the vasculature, of your veins and blood vessels. And that's what's going to be the excessive sugar. It can then start, if you have obesity, they all interrelate, and then diabetes is going to lead to like metabolic and inflammatory, diseases as well. But that's kind of what's happened with the sugar. I hope that answered your question, Gen X. Okay. Keep going, Tim. Tim explains science too, because he's real good with it.
Eggs. There's my grapes. And I brought home some of the green beans and a piece of steak.
Great.
There's my cheese. This is some lemonade, sugar-free.
Oh, no,
I bought for
it doesn't
something to
matter.
drink.
What the heck? Why do you need that? This is garbage. Garbage. Look at this. This is horrible. Why you got so many bottled waters? Just get a filter. Oh, this is good. Oh, a nice little thing of mayo over there too. And more like ocean spray. Is that more fruit juice? Are these mixers for your cocktails with Miss Tammy? A bunch of cream? No. And a bunch of sugary condiments on the side. Trash. Absolute trash and garbage.
My eye drops
my
in there.
opinion is a hard health.
And I just bought, where is it? They didn't have any heavy whipping cream, folks. Where's my whipping cream? Where is it? Hey, right in front of my face. So Publix.
This says I'm a college student and I have no idea how to eat. This is a man at 66 years old, has zero idea about nutrition. I'm sorry if I'm being harsh on him tonight. But this is just a repeat cycle of Tim talking about diet and, using it as content. And for those of us who actually do work in the medical field and have seen some really sick people and stuff, seeing this sort of nonsense it's just insulting to anybody's intelligence.
It was sold out of heavy whipping cream, but they did have in stock heavy whipping cream organic for about $15. No, $7. Stupid for a little size like that. And that doesn't even say heavy whipping cream. It just says whipping cream. I should have just bought half and half. I got to have cream in my coffee. That's all I can take.
And I don't want to be a show off, but I can promise you my BMI is nowhere near Tim's. I just weighed myself the other day and I'm only an inch shorter than Tim. And I weigh a heck of a lot less than Tim. I'm not going to tell people my weight because I don't want to be a braggadocious person like that. What's it say about me? I'm normal weight because my BMI is 20.1. So there you go. So Tim is 10 points higher than I am on a BMI. So, I mean, I'm just going to say, yeah. I mean, I've never had, I don't have blood pressure issues. I don't take any blood pressure medications. I maintain a healthy weight. I've maintained the same weight pretty much most of my life. I'm not diabetic. And I still work a pretty physical job. I don't have any joint knee issues. I almost like feel insulted when I hear that people who are, I'll be, what am I now? I can't even remember how old I am. Am I 56? I think I'm 56. Yeah, I'm 56. So I'll be 57 this year. And I certainly don't, and I barely have a gray hair. And it's not to be braggadocious, but and people have always asked me, How have you done these things? And when I explained to them about how I, ate well and exercised and just, nothing crazy. People don't want to do that much work. People want to hear there's a fad diet. That's why Ozempic is so popular. I mean, we do need people to have Ozempic because diabetes is out of control. It does so much damage to the body. I wouldn't even want to. I'm curious to know what Tim's blood sugar is. All right, Tim, keep going.
Okay. But it's all over. I'm not eating much anymore. I got 30 pounds to lose. I'm not kidding you. I'm about 210, and I need to be 180. And I've only been 180 once in like the last 6 years. It was short-lived. So it's just going to be a way of life. And today is day one.
Yeah.
Now, let me tell you what else I did to accelerate this matter. If you saw a couple of my videos.
Yeah, my grandma died of congestive heart failure, cheekbones. And I promise you, most of us who work in the cardiac industry, those doctors are eating chicken. They're not eating steaks all the time. It's a run to the blue moon. Tim, you look terrible too. You look like you got too much sun. I'm sure you put no sunscreen on and fried that skin out there too.
Today I went to Lido Beach, and I used to go there all the time years ago and set up my thing like I showed you guys today. I had the whole setup.
Pretty much.
And I would play aerobie or frisbee. We'll just call it that. That's what it is. But the thing is called an aerobie. It's different. You saw today, I was throwing it to myself. There was a little breeze. It was bringing it back. And for the first time in years of doing it, I was actually doing pretty good. And you have to run a little bit to get it, and that was exercise. And I played aerobie with somebody. And I snorkeled for a very short time, but I swam. And then I come home.
And I don't try to shame anybody. I just try to speak what are medical facts, because we know that certain things lead to different types of processes of the body. They just do those things over time. So, and we know certain things with foods and so forth. All of these people who are supposedly coming out with these miracle diets and stuff, be very cautious. Very cautious. These people are wanting to make money. They don't really have the research. I know that people necessarily feel like they lose a lot of weight because you're missing certain nutrients and certain things that your body is requiring as part of the building blocks of the human body. And so it literally almost can go into starvation. It's not good to do that over an extended period of time. So just be very cautious. You're best eating a variety, just like they say. We are omnivores. We are not carnivores. I understand there's this passion towards it. It's really not a solution, folks, unless you want to really have a potentially higher risk of having heart disease. And I don't care where the animal was bred, farmed, or raised. Your body is not going to notice the difference.
I went to the pool, and I took my mask, snorkel, and fins, and I did laps. But I thought something's different. I used to do laps a lot. That'll really make you hungry and melt you down. I said, you know what? I don't think I use my fins.
Oh, yeah, we're going back to
you're at the other end of the pool and like that. No time. So I took the fins off, took a break, got back in the water. I like to do swimming with a mask and snorkel because I'm not good at that. Turn your mouth out, and get air. And I'm not going to open my eyes underwater. I know you got swimmer goggles you can get, but you still.
Tim, what are you doing in the water? Last time you went to the water, you got a black eye. I thought the water was dangerous for you. Or is that just when you're doing preacher seats and cannonballs?
You don't have a snorkel, you got to get air. And I'm not good at that. So if I can put a mask and snorkel on and just swim, and I can see where the other end is, that was good exercise. I don't know why I put fins on. I don't need fins in the pool. And I was at the other side in no time. But I did like 20 laps. And I would say 70% of those laps I had the fins on. Then I did my second session.
Tim, we saw you in that water. You didn't even get past the break to do any swimming. Okay? For a man who lives in Florida, you looked distinctly uncomfortable and not doing great with that scuba.
Barefoot with just the mask and snorkel. So I did all that exercise today, and I've got, where did this come from? 10,331 steps.
Right. So is not bad.
A hell of a good day of the day I decided to draw a line in the sand. And so, I mean,
there's varying studies, Mark, about alcohol. And, a singular drink like that, there was some theories for a while that could be actually heart protective, especially around red wine and stuff. Now there's talk about the fact that any one drink can cause cancer, so it's like, I think, as I say, everything in moderation, but certain things we know you shouldn't even moderate. When it comes to a lot of these processed foods and stuff, fast food, avoid it with all costs, unless it's an emergency situation and you got nothing else. They really are nothing that are going to be good. And I think a lot of people have seen like the advertising, and they grew up around them, and they have this, trust around it. They should not be trusted.
I wanted to do it all day. I was actually going to take a run tonight. I wanted to run down to Publix, like a mile away. I said, "Don't kill yourself, Baker." So I've done good, and now here I am.
You did.
And tomorrow morning, we're going to be back into our routine of making our coffee here at home. I've got that, but I do want to visit.
Okay, let's give him a round of applause. Tim did great today, everybody. Let's give him a round of applause. Yay! Come on, Tim. He was playing like a teenager all day. The frisbee was wild too. He's like running around.
Starbucks tomorrow, maybe for the second cup, after we have morning chat and have our coffee, because you see these? Here is the scooters, scoot on around. Here's Badass Coffee over there in Lakewood Ranch. And here is that Foxtail coffee cup that I got over at the UTC Mall. And so far, nothing comes close to McDonald's coffee. I like to say it's the best cup of coffee I had in my life, but I don't feel comfortable saying it if I don't mean it. And the Scooters coffee ranks really close second, because maybe a little bit more cream would have made it even better. But it's only $1.
That's the prefacing part, Tim. Don't talk about the cream. Let's rank it by price, okay? McDonald's, I can get a senior coffee, 79 cents. Scooters, I get this coffee. I like the cup, 99 cents, number 2. And then I guess the other ones can get ranked up in price. He didn't like Badass. I actually have a Badass right next to my house. I like the Kona blend, but I just go to Panera because I have the Sip Club. They've got the light roast. I'm a light roast drinker. I like it sometimes the hazelnut. I'm not a coffee connoisseur. If I really want to get a good cup of coffee, we've got a couple of really good local roasteries around here. Roasters, coffee roasters. And one's called Three Ships, and another's I can't remember, but it's another one that, and if they really make a really good, cup of coffee, and I ruin it too because I usually like to get steamed like oat milk or something with it. So I ruin even a good cup of coffee. But that's if I want to go real fro-fro. Let's keep going, Tim, because I know this Judge Mathis is about to come out strong in a minute.
It's got a nice cup, very nice cup, and it tastes really good. The mild. I got a dark black cowboy coffee the first time around. Hated it. Said it was good, but don't believe a damn thing I say. That was not good. No black coffee is good to me. So tomorrow, what'd you say about Starbucks? Thought you hated that. Well, I never had any use for it. I hope they have this coffee, but one of the subscribers said to get this. Yes. I forgot it now. I'm going to go with the blonde. I'm going with some kind of blonde. Your dad drinks it, and it's supposed to be the best coffee he's ever drank in his life. So I'm going to try the blonde, and then I think it was.
This is Tim's content. So those of you who've watched me for Foodie, she's not the only person who has the what's the word I'm looking for? She's not the only one who does the non-tent.
Sent a request to try the pike, some kind of pike. I'm sure when I mentioned that, I hope all these Starbucks always carry these flavors, but I'll ask for a mild or that name, the blonde and the pike. And I'm going to get the cream. And you told me that Starbucks actually has heavy whipping cream, and I can request that. So Starbucks might go from, 0 to hero.
No, because they're going to charge you extra probably for that heavy whipping cream, Tim, and that's going to pee you off. Starbucks is going to charge nickel and dime you for any extra.
We'll find out. Find out what the craze is about, because all these people are wrapped around the corner every day. And I'll be putting Dunkin' Donuts back in the mix. I'm going to go in there, and I'm going to try a Panera Bread. And
no, Tim. And it might have been you, Gail. Somebody told me a long time ago, does Tim shake his cup like Foodie? Oh, he is the reason why I have Judge Joe Mathis, and he's about to come out. Oh, he's about to shake hard, girl. He's shaking hard. Oh, he's the king of the dry bag. Oh, absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Now I lost my train of thought. It wasn't that important. Keep going, Tim.
It was somewhere else. Oh, Wawa. And so we've got a few.
Oh, Panera. That reminded me. So somebody told me many moons ago in my comment section, somebody was a subscriber of your channel, Tim, and had saw you with all these coffees. It actually sent you money on Buy Me a Coffee for you to join the Panera Sip Club, which gives you unlimited coffee. I think it's a coffee every 2 hours or any type of drink you want every 2 hours. And you could have it unlimited for the month. So you only have to pay $12. I get it for the year. I get all sorts of discounts. So I don't go to other places to buy coffee because there's a Panera where I live pretty close everywhere. I just discovered there's one right when I leave work. I get a coffee and get ready for that 40-minute drive back to the ocean front. But it doesn't cost me anything. I mean, it cost me, I think it was $139 for the year, for the entire year. And they give me all sorts of like discounts off of salads and stuff. So I like, sometimes they let you add extra stuff. They do nice, huge salads. And so I grab one of those usually for lunch some days. I get a big salad. It's got grains and all sorts of good stuff and hummus. And there's one that does avocado. They do, and they know me there. So they pile my salad up. I get a big salad. All right, keep going, Tim.
But tomorrow's goal is to do the Starbucks.
But,
I can only do so many coffees a day. The other day when I did this.
So you've done Panera before and somebody sent you money for Panera. And so why are you talking about that? And why are you suddenly supposedly like Mr. Coffee? You know nothing about coffee roasting. You probably know nothing about even what the difference of roasting is. I mean, the least knowledgeable person in the world on coffee wants to make content around coffee. And you don't even seem to like coffee.
I literally went broke. I'm going to need some donations in my coffee fund.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I think we did. I think Tim just broke it. I think he did. He just broke the internet, guys.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have this dry bacon. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
Tim, I don't even think that was a dry bag. I think that was just a full-on bag. Oh, and for that, Tim, I'm going to give away some of Life and Vibe memberships. Okay. 1% think Tim's going to stick to his diet plans, guys. It's still open. Don't forget to hit the likes. Okay, let's give away. Giveaways. Time to gift. We're going to give 5 now. If you've been participating in my live streams, I give 5 away on a Tim, and I give 5 away on a Foodie. Because these people never give anything to their members. All right, let's see who got it today. Let's see. William, 1990. Charlie Hobo. Pixie Dragon. Judy Ward. And Cat C. Woohoo! You all got gifted a Life and Vibe membership. You're so very welcome. Enjoy it for the next month. Hope you guys enjoy it. And drop us some stethoscope emojis and some whatever emoji you want. I think the stethoscope because it's like a little heart health. So, congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Thank you. And thank you to all of you who are members of the Life and Vibe community. Look at me. I'm going to show myself. Look at that. I gifted 5 memberships. Absolutely. And I enjoy doing it too. I absolutely do because I really appreciate you guys being here, supporting my channel, hitting the likes, commenting, subscribing, because we have been growing. I am almost at 3,800 subscribers. I'm like 50 shy. I just like to make it to 5,000 by the end of the year. I don't know. I may be too controversial because I talk about health stuff. Okay, keep going, Tim. That was the biggest. That dry bag was terrible.
Because I bought them and I drank the badass, and it left a badass taste in my mouth. They should call it bad breath coffee. Sorry about that, but I don't like it. That Hawaiian coffee, I tried it twice. I got the black, which I won't fault them for that.
Yes.
No black coffee good to me.
Just
Cowboy
go
coffee.
back.
But I didn't like it. I don't like it. And I don't like foxtail.
Yes.
And they didn't put the cream in it. Maybe if they put the cream in it, extra cream, like I said, maybe. So you can't believe a damn thing I say. You know, I said I don't like Starbucks. They make a liar out of me. I might get that blonde or that pipe and like it. I might go back and tell Foxtail, I won't go back to Badass.
Oh,
I might tell, try the Foxtail again because it was piping hot. That's for sure. But I don't know why. I need to go back right now when I got all those others to try. They had their shot. That's the way I ordered it. They got their review. I already did a double shot, a repeat video.
They got the review. Are these companies sponsoring you, Tim? I don't know, Tim. You understand that coffee is a diuretic, correct? I mean, I'm surprised that you're popping in on 210 with all that water weight you must be taking off with the coffee. Coffee gonna make you pee and poop, Tim. Sometimes it's the whiff of coffee for me.
On scooters and Badass because I ordered the cowboy coffee the first time. I tried that black coffee business for about a week or a few days. Not going to do it. Give me my cream, baby.
Oh,
so already got rid of the hazelnut, and the creamer, and all that stuff I used to use forever.
Next time,
Irish
Eyes. I hope next time.
Yeah, we're going to go on a coffee tour. That'll be part of the videos. And if I'm glad I have the McDonald's right here, the McAfee, because if I go out in the morning and I don't have my Mac.
Oh, I just spotted some peanut butter, some Jiffy over there in Tim's cabinet. Tia. Oh, Tim, peanut butter. Woo! Gotta be careful with that stuff, sweetheart. Tablespoon. I know, because I love apples and peanut butter. It's like, and eating peanuts. You gotta just have to realize that it's good for you in moderation, like everything.
McDonald's coffee, and I go get a Starbucks or Panera Bread or one of the others I just mentioned, Wawa. I know Wawa's good. And we'll have to try Racetrack and Flying J if we take a trip again. Or what was that? Not Flying J. What's that truck stop I like to stay at?
I know.
Bucky.
Peanut butter, it's like, woo. I mean, that's like, that's a good thing if you really want to, but just not very much. Don't have a lot. A thing of peanut butter should last you a while.
What's that other truck stop, though, that I, not Flying J, but A, B, C, D, E, F.
Yes, it is.
G, H, J. Is it J? Whatever that name of that truck stop is, I slept that all the time.
No.
I'm drawing a blank.
No, he never does.
But I'm not going to be able to go without McDonald's coffee, so I'll have that in the morning. That'll also give me a comparison. Fresh in my mouth with heavy whipping cream. I got in the refrigerator. Then we'll go out to Starbucks, Panera Bread, and Wawa, and the other places.
Nice. Oh, Cody just gifted 5 Life and Vibe memberships. If you just got one of Cody's memberships, let me see if I can see over here. Here we go. Sam Tyers. Well, Sam will be very grateful. Sam went to bed a little bit early because she's over in the UK. But she's going to be so happy. Bebop got one. Payday Today got one. Mike Misguided just got one. And Sarah. I'm sorry, Irish Eyes. I know Tim, that Just Cody was trying to help you potentially win a membership there. But that was so generous. Thank you so much, Just Cody. Cody, that was so nice of you. And growing the community. We got quite a few community members. Since we've got to so many, I am going to, I promise, and I keep saying I am, but I am going to go over the cease and desist that I sent to Tim. And that will be a members only. Because people are like, what's special about members only? Well, sometimes I release some videos, members first. So I try to give it a little special something. And then the members only stay members only. And that's the stuff where we get to go into all the legal stuff I sent to Tim. So if you've ever been curious as to what the counter notification said and all the stuff that the attorney wrote to Tim, go check out the members only content. Those of you who just became members of The Good Life, and you'll be able to see all of that stuff. So And obviously, it hasn't just helped us. And those of you, everybody contributed to the paying of these attorneys. It wasn't, I just got the attorney, but it was literally this community who paid to ensure that small creators can continue to make content and make reactions and call out people for nonsense on this platform. Somebody like Tim, who's really a charlatan and parading as something he really is not. Tim is in my opinion, don't treat or diagnose, a very dull narcissist who found a way to make very easy money, because that's been Tim's thing his whole life, easy money. He's not somebody who works or plans, and yet he is profiting because it's regular people watching YouTube and YouTube AdSense and so forth, and yet he's having the audacity to talk about people in their prison jobs as he turns around and asks these very same people to donate to his Buy Me a Coffee. And these people have money to, I know, Irish Eyes. I'm hoping next time, I'm keeping my fingers crossed, that they have, he wants working people to contribute for him to go out and try cups of coffee so he can make content of which he gets AdSense. So those cups of coffee have already been paid for by YouTube advertisers. So I would say if he had 1,000 views, 2,000 views, which is insane, on this man slurping a cup of scooters, but I think half of it's hate watch, he still potentially say he got $5 per 1,000 views. He got $10 on that video. Now, maybe not as much because Tim, I have to say, he doesn't go to 8 minutes on a lot of videos. He would be better putting those videos together. He's just thinking watch numbers, but he's not thinking like AdSense and mid-roll. And so when you have those short videos, no advertiser can do a mid-roll. And that's where I believe some of the higher amounts of AdSense come. So if he's going to do a bunch of coffee videos, he would be better putting, and I'm not giving you advice, but I kind of am, Tim, 3 of them together and get a 15-minute video, or cutting them and actually editing them and putting them together and making them look somewhat interesting, and doing 10 minutes and getting a mid-roll ad. But he just wants to get 10,000 views. It was you, Sharon? It was you who gave him the 15? I remember you told me the story. I said, I remember somebody told me the story. Yeah, Sharon was like trying to help him out. And now he's talking about, I'm going to try Panera. Tim, stop lying. We know you tried because Sharon helped him out. Yeah, I don't think Sharon would give Timmy a dime now. I think Sharon would never give Timmy a dime now. But I think a lot of people thought that Tim was this nice, affable guy, and I think over time he drank free for a month. He didn't like it. I don't know how. Maybe they have all sorts of, maybe because I swear he probably didn't get the Panera app, so he probably didn't realize he could get more from it. Like a free cookie every once in a blue moon, then he probably would have stuck at it. I think there's something on that McDonald's app that gives Tim something extra. I think that's why he sticks at it. McDonald's coffee, not that good. It's okay. But it does.
And I'm going to try and get back down to Venice Beach and sit on that beach. We made a video there not too long ago, and it was a very nice beach, but I didn't go on and sit on it and get in the water, and I'd like to do that. And I'll also go down for the subscriber that asked me about whatever that pass is south of Siesta Key. We'll drive down there and check that out. And
that's right.
I made a rant video on the way home tonight that I didn't post, and probably won't. It was just, what do you need to be negative for? It was just, I'll say this. I've always said that, bad drivers are a real pet peeve of mine.
Tim, I already know you watch my videos because in one of your recent Crushing It for Christ, you talked about so many scammers online and that you need to watch out for like elderly and vulnerable people. If I was going to play that tonight, oh, David, thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. David says Tim hates the haters video is due soon. Ray, keep up the good work. Well, thank you. Thank you. Oh, he hates us. And he hates the fact. And that's what I was trying to say about the attorneys. It wasn't just for me and the fact, and David is somebody who's contributed a lot very generously, as many of you had to this community, help pay for this attorney. Like I said, the members only now, the new members can go read all that stuff, has enabled for us small creators to keep saying stuff about Tim. And people are, if you've noticed, have started using more of Tim's clips again. Because there was a while when he was striking people left, right, and center, people were not wanting to use his clips and people were not wanting to, and people were becoming nervous about doing reactions because he really was, because he took down Olive Oil. Because she did, and I'm like, heck with this, and it was a lot more work. But I feel at the end of the day, it's protective of all the creators in this community who make content around Tim, not just this channel. And so I feel like we really did do something as a community to ensure that we are being able to somewhat keep an eye, because we're the adults around here on these platforms. We all pretty much probably the wise elders of YouTube in some ways. I mean, in some ways we're not, because the younger people are far more savvy. But what we do have is life experience and knowing people and understanding life and how things work. And Tim, we know, is just a shirker of work. Oh, Lord. Anyway, I could just go on. I don't know where I'm getting this energy. It must have been because I took Tuesday off to deal with some stuff at the house.
And aggressive driving is mainly what I'm saying.
Aggressive driving.
And people are so aggressive in their cars. I mean, they're probably the nicest people in the world to talk to. They get behind the wheel of their car and they change. Tailgate, going through traffic, way over the speed limit.
This is a man who drives. Literally one video. He had driving along. Oh, that's a good pause. With two hands on a cup of coffee. Two hands.
On the freeway and surface streets. So that's all. I'll digress. But, it's like everywhere I go every day. It's probably that way in your neighborhood. They said that most Americans would fail a driving test today. I believe that 100%. I mean, really. It used to be years ago, you would put your turn signal on and people just hit the brakes. Hey, go ahead. No, you first. Now it's like, no, you're not getting in front of me. But anyway, I went on and on. It was a rant. I'm not going to post.
Tim gets upset because people are going to work while he out trying to get a cup of coffee. But Tim loves to talk about how he's retired. Do you know how irritating it is for people who are having to go to work to have retired people in their way? It's annoying because we know you're retired and you could come out any other time of the morning. And you know specifically that's the rush hour. Nope, that's when you want to come out on the road. That's when you want to head out to the Cracker Barrel. Or the doctors. And yes, it's going to be crazy people trying to head to work, Tim. Maybe you should just avoid those hours.
But, man, slow down, people. Don't be considerate to other people. You're not going to get there any quicker. You ever see these people? They're real aggressive, and you come up to the red light, and there they are, parked right next to you. And the next light, and the next light, And then you end up going to the same place together. I'm going to ride the e-bike now. I haven't rode it in a couple of days, and I want to absolutely ride it. I love that little e-bike. I haven't charged the battery again. I just went out there and turned it on and looked at it. It still has 3 bars out of 6 or 5 or something like that. I'll charge it when I get through riding tonight. And I'm very happy.
Oh, gosh. You've got to check out Tim's Crushing It for Christ. Oh, and he got into an entanglement with Zach Michaels. You got to check out. Tim is on the radar in Girl World. I'm not the only one who's made commentary. People last year were trying to figure out why I was making commentary around Tim. And then Zachary Michael started making commentary around Tim. I like Zach, though. Okay. Zach's a great person.
Happy with it. The scooter that I'm receiving, the stand-up on scooter, has been delayed until tomorrow. It was coming Tuesday, and then I got a FedEx update that it arrives tomorrow. So we'll be doing a review and playing with that and seeing how fun that is to ride.
Oh, he thinks he's all sorts of preaching on his crushing it for Christ. And oh, girl. He likes to call me out in his crushing it for Christ videos. There's always like an undertone that somewhere in it, he's going to be jabbing at me. I'm the hateful woman.
Since I've been away for a couple of days, away from the RV park, that I think on that e-bike, I want to ride it. Now, I went to the beach, I did some other things, and I wanted to ride it to the gym. I wanted to go to the store with it. I got a lock and cable and everything. And it's just fun. And a couple of you have commented about how you think it's a cool looking bike. I'm telling you right now, I recommend you get one. I've never seen them cheaper. I paid over $2,000 out of my own pocket. They sent me this one, but I paid over $2,000, a red one. You can look at the video.
Oh, not over $2,000. What, you make a video, Tim? In those days, you used to get a lot of views on your videos. So I'm sure you got your money back and then sold it on Facebook Marketplace. Got a bunch of stuff on Facebook Marketplace.
If you go back far enough, a place in Sarasota, it went about 30 miles, 32 miles an hour. It was about 3, 4, 5 miles an hour faster than this one, but that's fast enough, believe me. And so for the price they're offering it, $9.99 was what I looked at last. And there was $100 off if you use the word Tim. And I mean,
really, Tim? My Lord, not again.
No. I simply asked. I said, I wish I could have that dry begging. Well, I mean, you know what that is.
At least when I dry beg for money, Tim, I'm just dead honest. I told you, Cheekbones, that man's going to be rattling the can. He's got affiliate links. He got the buy me a coffee. It's a ding, ding, ding. Tim likes to get people to buy him clothes so he can go golfing. He believes that he's asked for gas money for his travels. If you could just send me buy me a coffee so I can get gas money. I can't afford the gas to, anywhere with his RV and F2, Ford. Girl, he's scandalous. He's scandalous.
I mean, get one, get one. I rode the Trek yesterday, and I don't know whether I really like that bike that much. It's not a hybrid or a road bike. It doesn't have enough speed. I don't mind pedaling. I don't mind an exercise bike.
Oh, he mentions only 2 of his 3 children because the first one, I'm guessing, is the older son, is the one on the back, child support, that has a restraining order against Tim. Oh, I would love, and maybe one day as a community, we should raise money for a private detective because I would really like to get more information about Tim's past. He really is, Mark. And I'm sorry if I'm hitting the mic. I'm trying not to. I get gesticulative. Mark has good stereo.
In fact, I want to go around Nathan Henderson with both the e-bike and the Trek. But the Trek is a mountain bike, as one of you pointed out.
Yeah.
And the gearing is 24 gears, 8 in the back and 3 on the front crank. That thing can pedal so easy, it feels like there's no chain on it. It'll go straight up.
That's why we joke that Tim doesn't have a passport. Is due to the fact that Tim is somebody who owes back child support of his. Cheekbones, the story gets worse. I promise you. All right. I think Tim's just going to try to sell us an e-bike at this point. All right, Tim, let's go back. Let's see. Did he put out any more videos this evening? Oh, Tim, you got cheap on everybody. You must be out to dinner with Miss Tammy. Breaking your diet already. All right, let's listen to his last. He's supposedly, after one night of, let me just show to Cheekbones so she can see that Tim does this crushing it for Christ. You got nothing to worry about. This is the one where hold on. I just want to bring this part up where he talks about vulnerable elderly people because this is what I talk about. Oh, let's see. I know it was this one. No. Okay. It's somewhere in here anyway. Hold on. Scam. Hold on. No, maybe online. I know it's the crushing it for Christ because I was like, how did this get into a... No, maybe it was another one. Okay, it wasn't this one. One of these videos, though, sorry, guys. He talked about... maybe it was the Social Security. maybe it was the Social Security. Hold on. He started to talk about elderly people. Let's see. No, all right. Let me not do that. I'll have to look for it. But he talked about, elderly people being vulnerable and stuff. And I was like, Tim, you stole my stick. But yeah, that's his crushing it for Christ. But not one of his biggest viewers. Okay. Now
Hey, good morning, everybody.
we're not going to listen to all this video because we're going to round this up soon. And because it's getting late. But he does talk about like some cellular health and stuff, a little bit about his diet, I think, right at the beginning. So we'll just do that part and then we'll figure it out. He's not smart, Ray. Yeah, Tim's not the sharpest tool in the shed at all times. You have a passport. You have a passport. I have an American passport. I have something that Tim doesn't have. Tim, for all his wearing patriotic hats and stuff, I actually have an American passport, Tim, which is why I don't have to worry about getting a real ID to travel. Because if you have a passport, you have a real ID. So you don't need to get that, updated driver's license, because they were offering me that because I just got a new driver's license. I was like, do I need this real ID to travel? No, I got a passport. I'll just take the passport. It's just not spending more money.
Everybody,
They had
Sarasota team.
stipulations.
How are you? 111,620.
Tim,
Beautiful
is
souls doing out
5'8".
there. The numbers are just exploding. Thank you very much for subscribing.
Oh my gosh. If Tim is 5'8", his BMI is even worse then. If he's 5'8" and he's 210, I don't even want to know what that. He says he's 5'10". Is he only 5'8"? Shit, he's shorter than I am. Oh gosh, that's 31.9. That's even, he's just putting the even slightly more obese. Tim, 5'8"? It's not very tall.
Oh, I got up. I washed the sleep off.
I'm
and as
5'9".
promised, put this fan up here. Open up the windows, let the lights shine in.
You're 5'6"?
How y'all doing out there?
Is that your height? 5'6"?
Let's find out what's going on this side. Let's
Check
get
your
some coffee
BMI.
made. Who's ready? Yeah. I should have had it made already.
Oh, he's an absolute deadbeat.
Sometimes
He's
we like to just go through the process
deadbeat.
together, don't we?
Oh gosh.
So let's get you over here. Over there. Let me put you down a little bit. There you go.
And of course, he's all from the South too. I think he was born in Alabama, but he lived in Georgia, all over the place. Oh, Tim has a saying that if the Reds do, it's time to move. He was removed. Oh, girl, it's wild.
Sometimes this thing's kind of hard to
He's more into
articulate.
the foodie, actually. He's got more.
I got some half bottles here. They won't hurt you. You got to be tough.
Yeah.
Oh, I got my fresh eggs in there. My watch.
Oh.
My watch is swimming.
5'3". Yeah, that's
It's
average,
swimming on
I
it.
think.
It was perfect.
For female.
Not loose, not tight.
5'3",
When I got
5'4".
the M3 Ultra, the tank, and man, I love this watch. But now she's just swimming.
Yeah. We have
I guess that old
no problem.
inflammation's going down.
Don't worry about it. It's just more money.
Something is the
Plus we
beginning
want
stages.
The ease
It's
of
like a raft.
traveling locally.
It's got a slow leak. Feels a little less. I feel a little less taut this morning. I definitely do. Let me tell you though, if I crushed it every day like I did yesterday, swimming, snorkeling,
doesn't matter. If your diet, what you're consuming, Tim, I mean, potentially, but then you're not realizing what's going on inside your body. I've always said I've taken care of people who thought they were doing very well. They were marathon runners and had heart attacks at the very end of a race and had never had anything show up with their doctors. And it can be a hidden killer disease that may not, that's very insidious. So I think that, it's better to be aware and understanding. And this man, after that, he never went to another fast food restaurant again because he thought that because he was so athletic and running and do this, that, and the other, he could eat all the hamburgers and everything else he wanted to eat. And he learned a really hard lesson. After that, that man said no more because he was somebody who was very way more, fastidious about, keeping to their health and their health goals and, worked, somebody who actually did a real job and worked and had real goals, Tim. And you are somebody who is a shirker. None of these things are going to last. If it really takes a modicum of effort, you're not going to do it. That's why your YouTube content is so lousy. and so poor quality and with zero editing, why you couldn't put 3 coffee videos together that could be interesting and weave them, show you going to one and one, and make it somewhat fat. You wouldn't have the imagination, the forethought, or the fortitude.
Crush it.
Crush it.
My butt. Walking, biking. I mean, come on. You know a man's going to be dropping the LBs.
It says,
oh my God.
Oh, okay.
Crush it. Now I got to tell you.
Oh, okay. Well, that.
I don't know what it is. I hope if I lose it.
That makes sense, David. Thank you for clarifying. Yeah, that would give indication that maybe he's not as tall as he claims to be. And that would make sense that Tim, the narcissist, would claim to be 5'10" and really be 5'8", which means if Tim and I stood together, I would tower a little bit over him. Oh, Tim, you're really not. And in one video recently, he talked about, I think it was the Social Security, that he talked about. Of course, he'd like to have even a condo. Tim, are you jealous of me? I got a lot of things that you don't seem to have, Tim.
There's enough weight, my back will be better, but man,
get in your head,
the
Tim.
bed or the walking or the swimming, or I'm gonna make a lot of coffee. Use these half bottles up. Gotta remember what portion to use. Crush it. That's what you do to your. Funny. You'll have 3 times the room in your recycle. McAfee, baby, McAfee, best in the world. Nothing beats it. Nothing. Not yet, anyway. But we'll look around. I cannot lie. Last night.
That's true. That's another good point. See, I don't have a camper. I haven't been in the camper for some time. And I forget that maybe if you were a taller individual, you wouldn't feel as comfortable. And I've never really thought about Tim and his height, I have to say. And but now I'm thinking that he's a tiny guy. Because Miss Tammy's probably not very tall then either. Oh yeah, so he's carrying some, distinct abdominal weight. And I'm trying to be polite because I don't want to shame people. But that says to me it's diet. That's diet. And Tim can run around the beach and, the steps. I mean, if he keeps up with that, but without the diet is really the key. The exercise, absolutely. But diet is always the key. And portion control along with it. And you need a variety, and it needs to be stuff that looks like food. Those processed nutrition bars and shakes and none of that stuff is really good for you. It's a pinch if you but it's not something that I would suggest to, get like when I get off this live, I'm going to eat a little bit of fruit and I'm off to sleep.
That's the hardest thing to get one out, isn't it? These filters. I knew there was 2 there. Knew it. I wanted to ride the e-bike and I didn't. Not due to weather or anything. Just wanted to sit there and watch Grit. Enjoy
I missed your sleeper.
25 FKBS. Right here. Yeah.
Thank you, Cheekbones. You're being so sweet. She says I'm invested now. It's like Donkey Kong. You need to check out at Zachary Michael also, because they've delved into that too with Tim. So yeah. Oh, Tim. Oh, I have a whole playlist. I'm so glad you're invested because Tim is an interesting character. Oh, he goes to the villages. Oh, it gets interesting. Oh, and of course he went naked in you see that refrigerator right there, Cheekbones? This one here. He went naked on his YouTube channel and posted it. People had to tell him to take the video down. I cannot have everything showed. Thank you for that, super. Oh my gosh. We might have to flashback some Tim retro one day. Oh my gosh. I'm laughing too hard. Okay, keep going, Tim.
Then 1, 2, and 1 to grow on. That should get it. Work. Start brewing. Work.
Here we go.
I might use one of these coffee cups. See if that helps out. I'm gonna get a McDonald's coffee cup. That's what I need.
Rich Kate. Yeah.
That way.
Rich Kate.
Let me get my creamer out. I was reading comments this morning.
Uh-oh.
All of you are very kind and supportive. I appreciate it. Machango cheese, machango, whatever. You got to get it. You got to try this cheese. Oh, this is the goal, baby. Good cheese.
No, not for your heart. That is the cold stop of your heart. If I had a heart patient and they were 66 and they were handling a piece of cheese like that, I'd be very concerned. I don't think your cardiologist is going to be very happy, Tim, that we know you lied about going to the cardiologist to the point you made up the IV sites, to the point that Dinger was showing that his blood had hemed and oxygenated on his gauze because yours was so bad and fake, Tim.
You'll pay for it, though. Let's open this up. Tim. Yeah, we're going to use our coffee cups. I rinsed them out the day I brought them home.
I know, private detective.
And so look at the weather.
I would love.
Oh, there you go. We're going to talk about the weather. It's going to be, and I'm going to go with the cup that's ranked second.
I want to know about the past one.
Scooters, baby. Scoot on around. That's what they'll tell you at the window. Is that clean enough for me? You got to be tough. I'll just use it this one time. I rinsed it out. Oh, take it easy there, brother. Definitely got mine. Hey, look, they didn't have heavy. Is this the same stuff? It says regular.
Hey, Kyle, come on in.
All this was sold out except for the organic, which was stupid expensive. So I got that. I'm going to make some scrambled eggs this morning. I keep debating, should I just throw them right in a pan on the stove here and get it done? Or should I put them on the griddle outside, make a video, cooking on the griddle? Or should I do it later? Because I read, I think it's the same subscriber. I want to subscribe to your window of eating, like 11 to 5, 11 to 6, whatever it is. And I was watching another video last night. I know it's a lot of diet stuff. We'll stop talking about it soon. As soon as I become skinny.
Tell you, Tim, any of the things that you're doing at the moment, not going to get you skinny. I mean, not unless you get some portion control and not eating a hunk of manchego like that. That's for a family of 5, Tim. Not for one man in a trailer. I know you love me calling it a trailer.
I keep watching these videos about how great you're going to feel by starving yourself to death. Meaning,
oh yeah, cheekbones. This guy copyright struck me 3 times. That's why I had to get an attorney. It's tried to take my channel down because I call him out. So I got to learn a lot, and then I sent him a cease and desist.
Fasting.
He's
24-hour fast is 3-day fast once a month. 16, 17-hour fast. At 17 hours, you go into this replenishing all these old cells and stuff. The inflammation goes away. And how? Skin tags, complexion, heart health, blood pressure, all these things start to improve. I see why people are health nuts.
What are you talking about, Tim? What in the Lord of my life? Science nonsense did you just speak there? What fork-tongued devil talk did you just have, Tim? Did you just hear? Yes. Then. And guess what? I don't fast. Well, most of us do. It's just called sleeping. That's why it was called breakfast, to break your fast. Usually if you stop eating after 7, you'll be okay, and then you'll sleep. It's enough. You don't need to do all this crazy stuff. Wait, what? Oh, yeah. I'm barely, yeah. Oh, yeah. Go back and take a look. Oh, yeah. He struck me, girl. Big time. It was wild. Oh yeah, Tim. This man does not like me. I'm a copycat hater channel. I have to go back and listen to Tim's science. Dr. Classy Badassy. Let's make sense of and cheekbones. Let's listen to the science master here. The maestro of health. Mr. Wellness Guru himself, the man of science and facts, Sarasota Tim. Take it away, Tim. Oh, take it away, Tim.
At 17 hours, you go into this replenishing all these old cells and stuff. The inflammation goes away. And how? Skin tags, complexion, heart health.
Hold on. I'm going to go back a little tiny bit more. Sorry, guys. It's important to learn from this master. I feel I need to concentrate. I feel like I didn't get this in my science classes.
The video last night, I know it's a lot of diet stuff. We'll stop talking about it soon as I become skinny. I keep watching these videos about how great you're going to feel by starving yourself to death, meaning fasting. 24-hour fast is 3-day fast once a month. 16, 17-hour fast. At 17 hours, you go into this replenishing all these old cells and stuff. The inflammation goes away. And how? Skin tags, complexion, heart health, blood pressure, all these things start to improve. I see why people are health nuts, because I'm becoming one. I don't think I'm ever going to become a nut, but I'm going to become one that is
66 years old. Some habits get real ingrained, Tim, and you don't have a habit of keeping good health. Fasting? Yes, there is a certain amount of time because your body releases ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, about 4 times a day. One which happens to be in the middle of the night, which most of us hopefully are sleeping through, which is why if you're out clubbing at night and you suddenly are leaving the nightclubs and you're drunk and you suddenly get hungry, part of it is because your body is naturally releasing ghrelin, which is the hunger hormone, at that hour of the night too. So it kind of coincides with the bad choices of food, with the alcohol, with an increase in your actual hormones. So there are hormones that get released throughout the day, which tell you kind of, yeah, it's time to eat. It's time to eat, you know? And so it's really a matter of listening. I think that I don't think we have enough of the evidence-based science to know about, I know, Tim becoming a health nut. I went recently to a conference, and I'm trying to remember everything that I heard, because I recently went to a lecture around weight loss and the use of weight management medications like Wegovy, which is like the big boy to Ozempic. So Ozempic is really only prescribed by insurance in the United States for type 2 diabetes. It is not the medication prescribed for weight loss. Wegovy, which is a higher dose of the semaglutide medication, is the one that's for weight loss because it's a higher dose. And that's specifically aiming at people for weight loss. So there's a lot behind weight loss, your body's hormones and functions. And so we talked a little bit about fasting during that conference, but most of what I took away from it was, it's about, obviously portion control, how, the quality of the food, i.e., is it fruits, vegetables? Is it ultra processed? Having your plate primarily with your vegetables, a little tiny piece of lean protein, a little piece of, carbs are going to be again probably coming from your vegetables or your fruits. Certain vegetables don't even have any carbs. So there's a lot more to it. Tim simply eats too much food. Yeah. And it's laden. Yeah, it is. It's just laden with saturated fats. It doesn't matter how much he's, and now he's talking about starving himself, which is what I basically said. These people try to put themselves into ketosis a lot of times. Starving yourself is not often a good plan. Actually, it could do more. Instead of benefiting the body, it could actually do more harm to the body. So all these miracles that Tim thinks are going to happen, no, it's not going to happen, Tim. Not like that. there's something else that I'm looking into, and somebody's going to send a supplement, and it's more to do with this particular thing. I'll share this real quick, and then we'll show Tim, and then we'll start finishing up because we're coming up to like 2 hours now, which is about the time. So there is actually what is known as NAD plus, and it's something that they believe is involved in metabolism in aging. And it's actually called nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide. And we know that Tim knows that stuff off like the back of his hand. And I actually have a company that's sending me a supplement made with this, along with resveratrol. I think that's how you pronounce it. Resveratrol. Anyway, you have to be cautious with that particular other one, but they're not enough, I think. Anyway, I kind of interested in looking at it. It's a new science. I'm not a big supplement person, but I was willing to take a look at this. So it is something I will be looking at just because Tim is talking so much about it. But this particular enzyme actually plays a role associated in the process of aging. And it has this with the aberrant pro-inflammatory immune cell activation or inflammaging, leading to sustained low-grade inflammation. So Tim is right about the inflammation and obviously the decrease of inflammation. But this is something that they're looking at, this specific enzyme, because we seem to lose it as we age. And so we're wondering if this is actually something that we should be replacing and having something to do more with helping with aging. This is an article. If you are interested, I will link it down below. It's something I've started. I'm going to, like I said, read more about this because of this particular supplement. And I was like, okay, well, let me see this. I still have a lot of questions about supplements and stuff, but I was interested about this nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide and what it can do within aging. But that might be a little too much science for Tim. But, what do I know? Tim is an expert. Tim is an expert. Yes. Yes, exactly. Yes. And yes. 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 And I actually am going to be, and I was offered this opportunity. And obviously, it's sometimes you're a creator, you're like, oh, because you do get brands. But I did have this company. It's an American company. All of it is made in the US. Obviously, none of it is ever FDA tested, but this one is third-party tested. I did some research into the brand because obviously made sure it wasn't like an NMLM or some, company of that nature. I always have questions. I did do some research and other, reading reviews and looking into some other things, but obviously it's all part of the wellness industry. And so I always, I tip around these things because obviously, obviously as somebody who's, part of medicine, people wanted to find ways to manage diabetes and lose weight. Well, semaglutide. So when we in science start to look at these certain enzymes or looking at semaglutide or looking at the way these things work within the body, then we're able to see and create certain reactions on a cellular level. I think that's beyond. Could they take red wine from us? Oh, you're okay. You can keep your red wine, Catherine. But I think that's kind of, to me, is more interesting looking into that sort of area of aging. I think Tim is definitely not, somebody who's abreast of the latest of the science. And he's just going to go find something on YouTube that's going to probably just, reinforce his own thinking, because that's kind of who Tim is. But this other one, this is very interesting. And this article too, just to kind of give heads up, because I always want to know the dates to make sure they're within the last 5 years. This was on the 21st of March. So it was actually originally published in December 2020. So it's coming up to 5 years, but it's still pretty within the 5-year standard that we have. And it was within the published in the Natural Review of Molecular Cellular Biology. So, I mean, if you really want to get into some in-depth cellular biology, and it's a free article, and you can actually read the whole entire article. And we still have it available in the National Library of Medicine. We still have some stuff on the National Institutes of Health. So take advantage of it, guys. We paid for it. Look at it. All right, Tim, I can link that article down below because I think you'll probably have a great time reading it. I'm sure you'll understand a lot of what it says.
Very cognizant of what I put through this hole, because what goes in comes out, and what goes in grows out. And the less inflammation, the less intestinal pack full of crap.
I just wonder how tall is he at 270? And I've known some older people who are heavy. It's hard for the nurses. Sometimes, though, yeah, I won't talk about that one.
Give the pun, the better you do feel. I mean, you begin a fast and
hard on the knees,
you start to evacuate, and all of a sudden that feels better. You don't have all that poisons and crap that we've eaten that is no good for you, no doubt. It's cancer causing, inflammation causing, everything causing problems.
Okay,
for your life.
That sounds a little better. For a man.
The cholesterol and all that can build up and do that to your heart.
Yeah,
that's bad enough.
That seems more reasonable.
Your mood, feeling, sluggishness.
Tim tiny.
Like the one guy said on YouTube, you're a sugar burner. You know, all you do is keep shoveling in the sugar, and it doesn't have to be candy bars, things that are insulin or high sugar, whatever, carbohydrate. Anyway, it's true.
Insulin, high sugar, carbohydrate. This is his audience is listening to this guy. To people not, just because people are using words that are to do with health does not mean they understand what they're talking about. And Tim is a perfect example of this. Tim, insulin, as I was talking about this earlier, is released from your pancreas, the islet of Langerhans. And it goes into your bloodstream in order to help open up the cells in your body. And they could be anywhere. In order for them to get the sugars in order to create the process for energy. And there's a whole process that goes behind that. I don't even want to go into ATP. Every one of us who's ever studied anything about the cellular process has to go through ATP. ATP. Okay.
I feel 100% better this morning than I did a couple of mornings ago. And I'm not even nowhere near what I got to do and what I'm going to do. So I'm thinking I'm going to continue my fast from last night.
Well, I mean, I guess you take insulin if you're a type 2 diabetic and you're no longer producing insulin, but Tim, you don't generally eat insulin, okay? Just seriously, listen to what the heck is this man on about? The healthy aging, Tim, you don't even understand the aging. You don't understand. You're 66 now. And you're really getting behind the curveball.
I did cheat and ate the remainder of that steak that I brought home, a little piece. I mean, I said, if you stay up, you're going to be hungry. And this is the challenge.
Yeah. Steak and that big old piece of manchego cheese. And then peanut butter hiding in the cabinets over there. Tim probably got some saltine crackers.
It's the willpower. You're going to get hungry. You're going to say, I need to eat. If I don't eat right now, I'm going to starve to death. But we're going to have our coffee this morning, and that's what we're going to have. And before lunchtime comes, I will eat those eggs. And guess what? I'm going to skip lunch,
Natural limit gain.
And I'm going to go for a healthy, small dinner. Because you know what? If I'm going to do ever a 24-hour fast or a 48-hour fast or a 72-hour fast, you got to work up to these things. I can't even.
Why is Tim going on these fasts? What the just delusional nonsense am I hearing now? It's portion control, Tim. You can't come home and then eat steak and then have a big old chunk of cheese and 4 eggs for breakfast and 15 rashers of bacon. No, you see, it's not about salads. You just literally need to have a healthy plate of food with a controlled portion to it. That's it. Get yourself a little palm full of rice, okay, some broccoli, and a goddamn piece of chicken. Some bodybuilders eat all day. Half a banana in the morning if you need some potassium. Don't eat more than half because it's a lot of sugar. Get rid of that damn crappy fruit juice. That's just sugar. I don't care if it says it's, no, whatever. That's just processed sugar crap water. This is garbage. Eat a piece of fruit. You're in Florida, for God's sake. Having that monstrosity of a shambles of Florida whatever in your fridge. Never even seen Florida except being shipped there in a goddamn truck.
Imagine. You can't be like snacking all day long. And you can talk about not atrophy or some other word that sounds like that.
So
Kind of like probably like
baby.
ketosis or something that you can achieve, but you can't get there to any of these states if you have anything in you. You have to be fast. You have to starve. You have to starve your body. But I do believe everything that I'm hearing regarding the anatomy and what happens when it doesn't get fuel. Food.
Hey, Brianna, Tim thinks you take insulin through your pie hole. He has no idea what you're talking about.
It changes. Your body will resort to other things. It converts.
Oh, okay.
And it says, I feel good. And that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah, okay. What? The body converts and now you feel good? Oh, Tim. All you're going to do at this point, if you go on a fast, is you're basically going to start going into gluconeogenesis because your liver is just going to kick out all the glucose that it stores in order to keep you creating energy. That's what it's going to do. And then if you starve yourself too much, then your body's actually going to hold on to fat. You know why? Because it thinks it's going to starve. So, in fact, you could get the reverse effect over time, unless you go completely anorexic, which means without appetite, YouTube, okay?
And I associate more good feelings about looking good and feeling good than I do about eating a donut, a bologna sandwich. Bologna sandwiches are
and it's and to actually go into ketosis, like, because I used to have to try to help patients go into ketosis for seizure management. And it's very common to use this type of diet with children to help them control their seizures and epileptic seizures is particularly. And there has been a link between that and seizure control. And so it is very difficult to put people in ketosis. I used to have somebody literally on an internal feed pump on a GJ tube, and I would actually make this specific formula of feed for this patient to be in ketosis to prevent her from having seizures. And it would include salt, a certain amount. I mean, it was literally measured by a registered dietitian who worked with a neurologist at a pediatric hospital to ensure for this particular patient at their size that this particular feed would help put the patient into ketosis to help with seizure prevention. And it had multi-chain triglycerides. There was some other, there was a certain amount of salt, water. I mean, like some powdered milk or something of that nature. This like specific powdered milk was all these certain things that we had to measure and mix and then create this feed. And she still had a tough time getting into ketosis. So it's not as easy as people seem to want to make out when they talk about these keto diets. It's very difficult. And take it from somebody who's trying to put somebody on ketosis who's on a feed pump and who's completely disabled. So they can't get hold of any other food. They literally had a trach in their mouth. Well, in the esophageal area.
They're good.
So
or,
Tim talk nonsense.
I know
don't
now
think
when I
people
pick up a
realize
fork
how
and I
difficult
get ready to put it in
it
this
is.
hole,
Very
you know what you're putting in
difficult.
there, and you're heaving in hundreds more calories.
And the type of diabetic ketoacidosis, that's a whole different thing. Okay, ketoacidosis That's, it's very different from ketosis. I mean, it's the same, but the sort of reason for the diabetics is very dangerous. Obviously, you get that fruity breath. It's dangerous to be in ketosis. That's one of the things we're taught you shouldn't want to be in. That's why you get the fruity breaths and stuff. It's not a desired state for the human body. It's not going to be optimal. Yet these people tout it all the time. Does Tim have a seizure?
It's thousands now. And you're going to have to do all this work to burn it off. And then it takes a lot of work to burn it off. And then you're back to where you started.
Absolutely.
Until you get that fast going.
Terrible.
Fast, or what this guy said last night on this video.
I'll
find out what the name of it is. You can watch it. It is the healthiest, best thing you can do to increase your time on Earth. There are so many things that happen, apparently.
We used to have these special dipsticks that we would measure, and it would read like something like we would do it with the person's urine, and we would get a clean catch from the Foley bag, and we would check to see if the urine would indicate ketosis. So there are things that we can get to test that in the healthcare environment.
Like, they're all saying it.
So,
when you
there is a test.
Stop. Not eat healthy, not eat eggs and only meat. No, that too. That absolutely healthy proteins and things like that. But
yes,
something about
very
fasting
dangerous.
I've been
Absolutely
hearing a lot about.
Extremely dangerous.
That's a lot easier. Not really. It's a lot easier than going on a diet of foods like steak or meat and butter and eggs and all this stuff like carnivore talk about, because you got to go out and get it. You got to have it ready to go. You can't wait till you're hungry.
Yeah, I had to check this kid all the time.
You'll end up cheating. So if you just say,
I had to check this young lady's urine to see if she was in ketosis. That's why I said I've had a lot of experience around these things. These things that these diets, it's just, you're hearing a lot of nonsense from people. I already showed that Dr. Ken Berry has multiple citations and restrictions on his medical license because of some really bad practices that he's had. One, along writing scripts for controlled narcotics. Any doctor who's writing scripts, illegal scripts for controlled drugs, like basically your Oxycontins, your morphines, your Roxys, your Percocets, all those types of drugs, the good drugs that he wrote, he would write falsified scripts for that stuff to get those drugs. Okay, that's not good. Okay, that's unethical. Highly unethical. He had highly unethical, dirty medical practices. People might want to tout this guy. The guy's a charlatan. Okay, he touts one type of diet, has a whole form. I promise you, he don't eat the diet that he's selling everybody else. These people just make money off of people. Just be cautious. There's so many scammers in the health and wellness space. It's awful. And Tim certainly is somebody who doesn't have the business to be in it. He knows nothing. I mean, the man thinks you actually ingest insulin. I'm
not eating anything for the next 24 hours. Then you can go find those things, get them home, and when you come off your fast, you can be counting down the time. Use your tank watch, your M3 Ultra. Put it on a timer.
Oh,
this thing, by the way, is unbelievable.
And in Tennessee, he's got so many. I did a video about it actually. I didn't mention his name because I knew he'd be probably get me for copyright removal too. But he has so many. And he had a potential. He had a dropped SA thing too against a college student. This guy has got some serious restrictions on his license. I mean, he's very close to, having, I'm surprised he hasn't lost his license because he was using dirty medical equipment in a spa and all sorts of stuff. It's bad. I thought the guy was a quack, but then when I looked at what he actually has as far as like strikes on his medical license, it's scary.
I checked my blood pressure, my blood oxygen.
It's real scary.
I set a timer for 5 minutes to take my eye drops in between. I count my steps. There's so many features. And this thing, I thought it was kind of like only a little bit like an Apple Watch. This is just like an Apple Watch. I talk on it. It rings.
No, an Apple Watch, Tim, is an Apple Watch. That's it. Apple's Apple. It may have similar functions, but Apple Watch is an Apple Watch. You know?
It notifies me. I send a text. I can go on Google Assistant, and I've got all this information, all these different watch screens. I can make phone calls. I can everything. And look, I'm swimming in it. I got that tool they sent you that comes with it where you can take links out. Look at that. I think it's going to.
Tim's just dropping the pounds already. Tim's dropping the LBs. If you haven't had a chance to hit the likes, guys, make sure you do that before we're about to finish out because Tim's about to go off into a different thing and we're getting close. Oh, Gray Lemon joined as a new member. Well, Gray Lemons, I'm so excited that you joined. Make sure you check out some of our previous members only videos where you get to see the full counter notification I sent to Tim and a little bit of the cease and desist, which I am going to get a new cease because we got lots of members now. We're going to show the whole cease and desist soon because I'm going down to 4 days a week of work so I can do some more YouTubing. All right, Tim, I know you're going to start to get real boring at this point. We're all going to start winding up on this stuff, but his science is terrible. Tim never took a biology class.
We go down more. We have arrived.
Thank you for joining. I appreciate that,
good.
Gray Lemons. Thank you
Okay.
so much. That's exciting. Thank
Let's
you.
check color. You hear that air conditioner? Oh, yeah. We don't have to lift the lid up. Oh, that looks like good McAfee color. See those people at the coffee places? They don't understand what.
So did Tim Richardson clean these coffee cups up just to have them and show them off again? His dry bagging is hard.
Extra cream.
Oh, great.
With
that
color.
looks healthy.
Looks like. They just don't get it. Oh, my goodness. Forget it.
Yeah, let me tell you about health. I've got a cup of coffee here, which is going to shoot my blood pressure up the wazoo, give me caffeine for a stimulant and make me pee all day. And I got a ton of creatine, which is a bunch of saturated fat, which is going to clog my arteries. Follow me for health and wealth, people.
Heavy whipping cream. Just whipping cream is delicious. Man, I love my cream. But that's only because I got a paper cup. I'm using McAfee.
Yes. Gotta dry bag those coffee.
First cup, baby. Folks. That's the best cup of coffee I've ever drank in my life. You just can't beat.
Oh, we're just finishing up,
I'm trying.
but you'll have to catch the
And
rest
this
of
little
it on the
scooter right here.
replay.
For $1 is about as close of a run as you can get. You want to go outside? Oh, if I can put this cup down. This one's going to go down fast. I'm going to get all hopped up. And I think I'm going to go to the beach again. The Crusher's ready. The Crusher's got her Old Glory sporting.
Oh, I promise. I'm trying to find some good comments for the best of Tim's comments section month of May or something. Everyone just says Tim's living his best life ever. He gets to go to the beach. Some days I am envious because I love I have a long day at work, and because of the type of nature of my work, once I'm at my work location, I am on lockdown for the full 8 hours. I cannot leave. And there's no breaks. A little bit when the little girl gets a nap, but I'm doing paperwork. Generally, that's when I get to catch up with my charting. So it's really no break. So it's a full 8 hours. So Tim has no idea. Tim worked a few hours a day, a few days a week. I've already probably worked in a year what Tim probably accomplished in his lifetime. He's sorry, son of an SOB.
Better flags. Man, I'm a lucky man.
Oh, God, the flags. Not the flags.
Tim,
what are you going to do with these things? Are they going through the car wash with you? All right, Tim. I think we're going to finish you out there. I don't think he talks anymore about his diet or health. I have no idea at this point. I'm sure he just blathers on for another 20 minutes about absolutely nothing. And I've already kept you guys here almost way too long as it is. Oh, my goodness. And Catherine has been an absolutely fantastic moderator. So thank you, Catherine. Let's finish up this poll. If you haven't had a chance to hit the likes. That always helps me out. So we had a poll today. Let me see. Let's end the poll. And we had 165 votes. So that's awesome. Thank you. In the world of Tim, that's 165,000 souls that voted in this poll today. So we're going to end the poll. And what did it say? So will Tim stick to his diet plans and reach his weight goals? 85% of you said no. That's really harsh on Tim. But I have to say I may be in agreement. 13% said, is that a question? It was a question, but why should that even be a question? It shouldn't be. We know the answer. 1% actually thinks he's going to get it done. I think they're just trolling us. I think that 1% was trolling us. They were trolling us. Absolutely. Well, let's summarize. I think I learned nothing. Well, I learned a lot from Tim in the respect that, Tim, you do need to lose the weight, because if you are at the height even at the height you claim to be, and at the weight you claim to be, which maybe you're up on the weight and lower on the height. Which way did we compensate, Tim? Which way? Did you make yourself a little bit taller and a little lighter? Either way, Tim is officially, per the BMI and the National Institutes of Health, potentially in the obese classification. This is not body shaming anybody. It is a medical term. It's a medical term. It just gives us an indication that a patient could have more propensity for certain types of problems with their health in the future. And so we do want to make sure. And for all these people think we just want to give people pills, I used to tell my patients the cheapest prescription I could ever write for my patients was, 1, walking as exercise, very inexpensive way. If there's a shopping mall, I know the weather. Sometimes it's the neighborhoods. So, I understand that there can be restrictions as far as where people live. But for the most part, hopefully, if I know some people don't have access to safe neighborhoods, and so I don't want to have, obviously, no understanding of people's health inequities and circumstances. Because as somebody who works in healthcare, I perfectly understand that. Tim is somebody, though, who chose not to work, chose not to have health insurance his entire life, chose to play, chose to party, chose not to build a future, and is now on YouTube living a lie, as we know, especially when it comes to things around his health. So I would not listen to him. I'm sure next week he'll be back to the Mediterranean diet, then back to the ketovore, back to the... I would follow what the National Institutes of Health said, in the respect that you want a diet that has a good amount of fruits and vegetables. That fiber is very beneficial for I know for some fiber is not good, but if you ever see when you're working with a gerontological population, often we are adding fiber to our patients' diets in order to keep them regular. There's a lot of things that fiber does. I know people sometimes get uncomfortable. It can give them gas. I get it. I understand. Maybe that wasn't the right fiber for you. Maybe getting benefiber or something. I have like a Metamucil. I have like a psyllium husk, which you can add to water. That's supposed to be helpful. I don't really need that sort of stuff. I just got it and I don't even know why. Because I eat enough fiber. But anyway. So yeah, just be cautious. Okay. Just, Tim is somebody who's going to get lost in the sauce, and he's going to probably listen to potentially wellness influencers, just people. I could come out and, but like I said, if you really tell people the basics of how to really maintain weight, people don't want to hear it. People don't want to hear boring stuff. People want to hear a fad that they can eat bacon all day and they'll have the best health of their life. It's not going to happen. I hate to say it. It doesn't matter where the pig came from or how the pig was raised. The body is not going to notice the difference between organic pig and regular pig. It's pig to the body. It's like people who think that Himalayan salt is so much better than other salt. Salt is salt to the body. Himalayan salt has a couple of extra minerals to it. It's still salt. Anyway. I am going to thank everybody who came and visited us. Cheekbones came in with a super chat. Thank you so much. And she came in with a second super chat too. And she's invested into Tim. Absolutely. Tim's a fascinating character. Just Cody gifted 5 Life in Vibe memberships. That was really generous. And I know lots of people appreciated that. David with a very nice $10 super chat. Thank you. And Gray Lemons decided to join the community. And I am very grateful because we are a growing community and your support. Hey, Angel, we're just finishing up. Oh, she popped in. But I am going to come back and circle around Foodie again. But Angel is also another one of our moderators and is very good about popping in and checking in on everybody. Yeah, I know. I know you just got on and we're just getting off. But I'm just always happy to see you. And yeah, we're just happy to see you. We're just finished up. I had 2 hours and 30 minutes of Tim. And there's somebody who's like, how can this person talk about Tim for 2.5 hours? We don't just talk about Tim. We talk about lots of other stuff, about health and things. Because obviously I have what Google says is EEAT. Experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. 1, I've been a registered nurse for over a decade. Obviously, I have specialized in cardiac, so I have a lot of expertise in that area, and psychiatric, obviously mental health. Authoritative, well, I have licensure and teaching license and a nursing license. Trustworthiness, nurses are the most trusted profession ever in the United States. Least trusted profession, car salesman, Tim. And especially ones who did oil change coupon sales door to door. All right, guys. I really appreciate you all being here. It was a lot of fun. I had a great time. I hope everybody had a good time with us tonight. Thank you, Tim, for just being a good sport and providing us with just a wealth of information of what to do. And I'm happy to see you too. And if you, like I said, if you get a chance to like, comment, and subscribe, and it really does help because all of you, I've noticed a lot of you have been watching the videos to the end, the ones that I release, and I really do. I really do appreciate it. Kind of this Tim thing. I just kind of try to wonder how somebody as educated as myself is sitting here talking about somebody as uneducated as Sarasota Tim. Part of it is because people, I think, and YouTube keeps saying this is where the content is going to grow. And we are a growing community, but we are a community that does see that there are people who are within our, say, even our sort of age generations and are potentially misleading our other peers. And we need to make sure that people don't get that. We need to protect one another. And unfortunately, it's very much the Wild West on the internet. And people are fat. If you look good enough, I don't show up looking very fancy. I got my glasses on. I got a kid that's been pulling it. I've got my ponytail fixed because I got a kid that pulls at my ponytail throughout the day. I don't have time to get makeup on. I work, I drive, I'm not glamorous. And so it's probably, harder for me because I don't really care about that stuff, But I promise you, I'm in way better shape than Tim. Back in my day, I was, running half marathons in like an hour and 40 minutes. I was doing 8-minute miles for 13 miles easily, So, I mean, Tim would just be, so that's why I'm just listening to this guy. It's just like, I was like, myself, He's got all the time in the world on his free money to make this stuff. And I don't have any time in the world. I've got to be up. I'm about to head to sleep. And of course, I have a nurse that's coming by, tomorrow. I'm getting all red because I'm getting hot in my house. Because I get heated about Tim. And I have to do some training on somebody tomorrow. I guess I'm getting heated because it's like Tim is a lazy SOB. And the rest of us, we work so hard. And yet this person's out here pontificating like he's the expert on everything. And he's an expert on nothing. Absolutely nothing. It's just so, these people kill me. AI has gone so fast. It has. And unfortunately, that's where AI doesn't have that human component, though. And so that's what we have to always remember. AI doesn't have the human component, and it makes a lot of mistakes still. A lot of mistakes. So, and guess who programs AI? People. It's not that smart. Its intelligence is very artificial because it's not that intelligent. Yeah. Oh, grown too fast. Yes, grown. Yeah, but like I said, it's pretty bad, most of it. It's not very sophisticated. I mean, it's like if you remember I went to the first ever internet convention ever in London, and it was in 1996. And I went to it. I remember first ever internet convention, 1996. So that's what, 30 years ago? And the internet it was literally just newspapers. That was it. There was nothing. It had possessed nothing but text. And most of it was from just newspapers. And there's been a lot of changes in the internet in the last 30 years. So I am sure AI is, we have to be cautious. And I think that's where you have to make sure that when you're getting information, you maybe see a human being, a real, and notice, because we notice as people when things don't look right. There is something in our human brain that says something not, like there's something wrong with the eyes, because there's eyes, there's something about it that you just can tell that potentially it's getting better. So, but just be cautious. That's why you listen to the doctor that you go see in person. You don't get all hooked up, especially these podcasting people. Oh my God. Just a plethora of nonsense. Just all these people who just talk all day, and it's just the self-importance. I'm sitting here with a channel, but I think most of us can see as reasonable adults. Most of these people are just, you're like wondering, like, how did people even want to listen to these people? How do people want to listen to Sarasota Tim? I promise you, and throughout the day when I'm listening to this guy, it takes all of my power in me not to just want to cuss this man out completely, because he's just not that knowledgeable. And it's frustrating to hear, and he just thinks he's so smart. And you're just like, I'm glad he decided not to do the real estate, because he does not need to talk about real estate. The man has never owned a home. How do you start talking about just, anyway. All right, guys. like Dale says, Tim has CRS, and what he says don't mean a damn thing. Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. He's just talking. I know, but it's frustrating. It's frustrating because I don't think he should even get a view for the talk. But anyway, he's not overly blessed, as we can say. Oh, Tim thinks he's blessed. See, blessed in the United States has a very different connotation than blessed in the worlds where Catherine and I grew up. It's very different. All right, guys. I really do had fun. I can tell I'm getting tired. All right. I had fun. I'll catch you on the next one. Hopefully it won't be too long till I go live again. Be safe, everybody. And hopefully I'll catch you up this weekend. Tim says he has 100. It gets 1% engagement. I know. At least my engagement to my subscriber count is pretty similar. So I mean, YouTube doesn't put me out to a lot of new people, and everyone's been complaining about the algorithm. I don't, I watch a lot of stuff. Again, take everything with a pinch of salt almost, Anyway, yeah. Bye. Thank you, Catherine, for your help. And Angel Glass for skipping in. Night. All right, guys. I'll touch you later. I gotta go. Bye.